Hello there. Hope everyone's doing well. I am really looking forward to starting this new chapter. Hello, Real. I'm going to put the volume on mute for this. There. Hello, Les. Hello, Knight. Also, hello, Cat. Yeah, as I did promise way back when we were starting this, I would start the stream by watching the 2 PVs and 1 trailer. So I'm going to start with the 2 different videos. 2 different videos. They're all videos. The 2 different like preview trailer videos, and then the main one after that. I just realised if I had €1 for each Game Boy Arknights YouTuber with bad English streaming on Good Friday I follow, I would have €2, which ain't much, but it's weird that it happened twice. Oh, who's the other one? It's the boy. Hello. Bad English. Yes, my English is indeed atrocious. But yeah, so we're going to start off with the trailers. I haven't watched the trailers at all. So the other one would be Super. Oh, okay. I vaguely remember the name. I'll have to check them out at some point. I think you speak English very clearly. Oh no, I speak clearly. My English is just shit. That's the key difference there. And you know that just as well as anyone else. But yes, I don't actually know what the audio is going to be like. Hopefully that's going to be fine. I don't think that's too loud. But yeah, so I'm going to start with the animated PV for Amia's version, then I'll go on to W's version, and then I'll watch the actual trailer. Oh god, I'm looking forward to this. It's been so weird doing the going on to a new chapter. It feels like I've been stuck on chapter 13 for like ages. And I guess I kind of was. I did take my time, really. I did like a lot of the events and then a lot of downtime. But yeah, we're finally back, and we're going to start. So weird to streamer on time. Shush. I was able to get it ready. It's been 85 years. Damn, longer than the Titanic one. But yeah, all right. Without further ado, let's start. いつの日かこの大地の一人一人が落ち着いて静かに眠りにつけるようにしたい。たった一つの願いのため、どのような覚悟で何を諦め、何を捧げたのか。何を諦めず、抗い、戦ったのか。今は知っています。アークナイツ第14章、慈悲高等。私はそんなあなたを尊敬します。Okay, I just want to point out right off the bat, I heard Raffle, there we go, there's the English, Cerulean Flame. It was slower and in a more orchestral format. Well, Raffle Cerulean Flame rather is already somewhat orchestral because of the choir and the violin, but still, I noticed it. I did notice it in there as the music started to peak, which is interesting. It's because it's been a little while since I've heard it like canonically in the game. In reality, I've been listening to it like literally at least once a day. I listen to it while I draw, but Broken Sun is the main OST in this chapter. Sounds good too. Oh, okay. Does that happen to be the song for what's her name? Oh no, why have I forgotten? Teresa. Is that some episode 14? Yes. And also, yeah, hello, Coral. Draw? Yeah, I draw. I don't really show it much because I'm working on one singular project, so I don't want to like reveal anything yet. But yeah, I do draw. Not very well, but I'm learning. But yeah, so I just want to go through this again. Yeah, you can hear it there. There's Manfred. Is that the woman we were fighting before? You hear it in a lot in Maxwell's latest Elden Ring video. Yeah, that is true. I see fangs I like. Same. She is the one that we fought with the bone whale, right? No. Or is that someone else? Similar hair, but maybe someone else. Also, what is it with her in the puffy outfit? Is that her, oh, come on, show me. There it is. That's a very puffy outfit for someone like her. Okay, so it's not the one that we fought before then. I thought it might have been just without the uniform and a little bit crazier, but no, I guess it wasn't. Her altar, okay. I did wonder that because it is different, definitely a different outfit. It reminds me of someone though. Who does it remind me of? Is it? No, not. For a moment, I was thinking it reminded me of Tallulah's outfit because her sort of like she has like a thing at the back of the neck which is kind of puffy, but no, it's not the same. It's the arms that are puffy here, not the neck. But yeah, that's quite interesting. And I did notice before they were. I think I saw Chen. Oh no, that's someone else. No, that is. Never mind. And you've got for some reason just in the water. Oh, Fang! Fuck! I'm an idiot. I thought I saw horns. I thought the things that were just out of the frame. I thought the things that were out of the frame were the thing that Chen had. Oh, that is already embarrassing. God damn it. And it's especially embarrassing as I was using Chen to do the event that's been going on. Also, I have to apologize to everyone here. When I saw this bit, especially with Teresa like suddenly appearing next to Amiya, I immediately thought of Honkai Impact, where I think Kiana's fighting the puppet master, and her face appears next, and oh god, I can't remember her name now. The redhead Himiko's face appears next to her while they're both doing the thing. The Himiko moment, yeah. it just made me think of that. Oh, the bomb, yes, that's right. It did it with the bomb as well. Yeah, I think it's because the Himiko moment with the puppet, she disappears for good, whereas in the bomb one, she stays. But speaking of Teresa, though, I thought it was very interesting. I sort of skimmed past it before, and I can't find it now. There it is. I'm guessing at some point in this chapter, W faces Teresa, and I guess she denies her. Or rather, cements the fact that she's with the enemy team. Because W looks pretty distraught. Oh right, yes, I forgot about the first one. Although the first one isn't the same though. The first one she sort of like comes out of like glass, which is different. But the other two ones where she like literally appears beside her, sort of like ethereal, like that was the one that I was thinking of. But yeah, definitely Usual Eclectic. I'm honestly more. I keep going past it. I'm more. You know me. I like crazy. I want to know who this person is, because either I've met them already and I'm just an idiot, or it's a new person. But it does. Yeah. If I remember correctly, first one was Fuha using an illusion to stop Kiana. Ah. I don't actually know. To be honest, that the cutscene sort of went over my head when I did it back in the day, so I probably didn't notice. Anyway, I think it's going to be the same. I don't think they change the visuals, so I'll be paying more attention to what W says. Unless she just says the same thing and it's her voice. No, it's normally the versions they say something different.
私にはね、言えなかった言葉があるのよ。あの人、いつだって遠く高いところで、一人で何もかもを背負って。アークナイツ第14章。Oh,
I love hearing the violin.
見てなさい。絶対に伝えるから。あなたは、あなたに。
Oh, Johan. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. She's definitely more angsty. Which makes sense, to be honest. She definitely was a lot... Well, I'm not going to say she was a lot closer than Amiya, because Amiya was kind of sort of raised by her for the time that they were together. But I mean, like, W definitely looked up to Teresa quite a bit, and you could see that in Arknights. And it wouldn't be surprised... I wouldn't be surprised, or it wouldn't be surprising, if W had been holding out on the possibility of like seeing her and her joining again. But I'm going to assume that Teresa stays on the enemy side, or at least for the majority of it. So I'm going to assume there's going to be angst there because of it. But otherwise, pretty much the same thing. I love hearing Raphael's Cerulean Flame in this, especially like the violin. Like, I can hear that part of the violin that would normally play between the parts of the chorus, between the vocal parts where the violin then picks up. I can hear those bits every now and then in the in this sort of more orchestral piece. W's voice cracking. No, yes, exactly. That's why I'm thinking it's going to be very angsty, at least for her side of things, because she definitely, I feel like she's the one that's going to struggle the most with having to deal with the fact that her sort of like mentor figure is, you know, the enemy, and very clearly going to stay that way, or at least for now. Raphael's Cerulean Flame was the first true oh shit moment in the game for me. Honestly, yeah, kind of. Probably not the first like oh shit moment for me, but definitely like it was the first clear turning point moment for the characters, the main characters, us. Because before that, the majority of that Chernobyl arc was just a depressing failure after failure. We made some gains, but we were always losing, or we were always one step behind. And in that moment where she takes on that form and gets the new ability, and it sort of turns the tide, that was sort of like the moment for us where it cemented the fact that we were winning. And so far, I feel like there hasn't really been another moment like that, at least not in the main storyline. So I'm wondering if we will reach that point soon, either in this chapter or the next one, because I imagine it's going to. Especially as it does seem like we are turning the tide once again. Like, much like the Chernobyl arc, we've been having failure after failure, or some gains, but mostly one step forward, two steps back. And now I'm wondering, we've sort of put them on the back foot, and it looks like everyone's converging on Londinium, for better or worse. So it does make me wonder if this will be the point that things turn. If not like Chapter 8, at the very least like Chapter 7. Oh, this is the final. No, I thought isn't Chapter 15 in China the last part of this arc? I was told that this chapter isn't the last, which is why I was always thinking, oh, it's surprising that this isn't the last one, because it's you know, so clearly that they're losing and we're now about to do the final battle. I'm struggling to see how they'll do it over 2 chapters. Oh, chapter 15 is out right now. Oh, okay. I will not look then. Huge spoiler stuff, I can imagine, especially if it is the last bit. Yeah, honestly, so far I'm good at avoiding the spoilers. It sort of went over my head. I did see some spoilers, like I've seen like the new, not spoilers for chapter 15, but like I've seen like, new characters. So I did know about like Monster. I don't know how that ties into anything though, but I do know that because you can't avoid it. It was a memes to hell. Anyway, the last of the 3 trailers. This is the actual full-on trailer, and I'm hoping that this means we'll get to hear a full song. Maybe that same song, that would be nice. I can't look at fan art for 6 months. I know, it's horrible. This is like one of the few games that I know of that it's such a long waiting time between what gets released in the main server and what gets released in global. I know there are other games that have a slight delay, but I'm so used to games that do it around the same time. But yeah, last chapter, so let's see how this one goes. Last chapter, sorry, last trailer. Okay.
Transform flame.
Oh, it's in English.
No problem. I've got plenty of experience.
Why were there tabletop spinners from like not Interstellar, the other one?
The myriad souls have long departed, but our souls still must find rest. If the deceased
I love his voice.
guidance on their journey to the other side, then I am willing to become the ferryman of the sarcasm.
Oh,
Say my name, Doctor. We should have. Not some code name picked out of a pile of sticks anymore. It's my name.
that's what she sounds like in English. Okay. Ooh, that picked up. Oh, this sounds like a turn-based RPG kind of boss battle music.
The red velvet of light props up this dead diamond.
Red Countess, that's such an awesome name.
The leaf trembles. The stream murmurs. I understand how they feel now much better than I used to.
I love that Thorns has like a traditional Spanish outfit. Yeah, it's quite a bit more.
Time will close wounds. Love will mend scars.
How did I miss that she was playable?
The flames of hatred still spread. I'll try to extinguish them, no matter how many times it takes.
You didn't know? Apparently, either that or I forgot, but I'm surprised that I forgot. I knew of W's altar. I just can't remember seeing Teresa on the banner. That's weird. I could have swore. No. I know I wasn't playing Arknights much during that time, but I did see the banner. I saw W, unless it was a separate banner and I didn't check that one. But anyway, her name is Silverlight Eterna, though. Yeah, free unit. Ah, that might be why. Oh, okay, so that's why I didn't notice, because obviously you wouldn't see it in the game unless you play the chapter. So yeah, I wouldn't have seen it. That's why. And because I didn't watch the trailer, I didn't know. I'm also surprised they showed us the Amiya transformation. Did they show the guard's transformation in the Chapter 8 trailer? I can't remember. But I did not remember knowing that she was going to transform until seeing cutscene. So I was a bit surprised to see that, unless I did genuinely forget. No, Chapter 8 trailer didn't show the transform. Okay. That is a bit of weird then. They kind of missed the opportunities to reveal it in the game then. Because I'm going to assume there's going to be a moment in which it does it. Chapter 8 show her guard form CGI for like 1 second. So they were a little bit more covert about it then. I mean, I know we would expect there to be a transformation, but I feel like it would have made more sense to just not show it and then have you find out. But I don't know. That's the only critique I had. Otherwise, well, I'm pumped. It looks like this is going to be one hell of a chapter. That was shown during a live stream event, if I remember correctly. So they showed all characters and stuff in detail on stream. Right, okay. There, I'm just gonna go. Where's the audio? Oh, there we go. And time to put the audio down on my headset. But yeah, I think we've pretty much got everything ready. Hold on, am I missing something? Oh, sorry, I completely missed your message cat. It sort of got taken away in the swarm of chat messages. Did you say Manfred or Manspread? Manfred. Like the name. But yeah, now we go to hell. It certainly looks like it with all the red. Alright, 14-1. Fallen from Fallen from memory. Prepare to seek the ending. Well, if that ain't on the nose. As a fun fact, some of the music is made by a composer from a certain popular and difficult game series. I'm assuming you mean the person who did the compositions for Dark Souls, which, to be honest, I'm all for, because damn, those are some good songs, if that's the case. Nice, okay. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. If an enemy comes up and it's that one particular Dark Souls free song, you all know which one I mean. Which one I mean because it's been memed to hell. I would laugh and scream in panic at the same time. Like that would elicit like monkey brain fear in me. Like it doesn't matter what the enemy could be. It could be like a random sarcasm slug, and I would immediately go into panic mode if suddenly all I hear is the dun 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 dun. God, I can't unsee that mental image now. Slugcast, yes. Anyway, not every meeting has a beautiful ending, Amiya. A lot of stories end suddenly. A lot of stories keep us tossing and turning in our beds. And some stories end with a long, long sigh. In a wilderness without end, people meet and go their separate ways. But at the crucial moment when we cross paths, no one knows if we should really be saying such solemn goodbyes. Come in. Small Mia. Teresa, you're back. Mia? What's the matter? Look what time it is. You should be in bed. If you don't want Counselor getting angry with you... I know, but I can't sleep. Want me to sleep with you? It's okay. If you still have work to do, You've been waiting for me all day, haven't you? Did something happen? No, Everyone's been very nice to me, and I'm keeping up with my homework too. I've finished all the assignments Dr. Counselor gave me. But... I know you've been really busy, and I shouldn't bother you, but I don't know why I really wanted to see you today. Is that right? Come, Amia, I'm here. Teresa kneels down and hugs Amia. Assignment Dr. Calcet writes a 5 million word essay. I would not be surprised. Like, full-on dissertation. I don't care that you're 5 years old. You write this now. I'm here for you. Alright. I saw you standing here, waiting by yourself while everybody else was gone for so long. I still remember the look on your face. I don't get it. Are you worried about something? Isn't everyone saying they're about to win? Yes, there's always good news. Our fighters captured another town. We advanced our position once more. Casdell, our home, is closer than ever. But... Amia, Babel still has a very long journey ahead of us. Our goal is so far away. I don't actually even know if we're still sailing towards our original destination. Teresa lets out a brief sigh and looks into the distance. The distance being like a wall 5 feet ahead. Sorry, that was rude of me. Amia follows Teresa's gaze but finds nothing. Babel doesn't exist to win victories. It never has. Victories and scars go hand in hand, and those scars are far more difficult than we ever anticipated to heal. Or rather, can they even be healed? Teresa's voice is very soft, almost like a dream melted away in water. The cloud of mist rises. The brief, momentary smile that she had before now seems distant and hazy. The uncautious girl thinks that, for a moment or two, the woman holding her hand all this time almost seems to have disappeared into the mist herself. And so, Amia makes the effort to stand on her tiptoes and stretches out her hand out. The young girl's soft fingertips touches the forehead between the eyes of the King of Sarkaz. She tries to smooth those knitted brows. They can. They will. Teresa, I still remember what you told me. Perhaps one day, we'll be able to let everyone on this vast land fall into peaceful slumber. Right. That includes you and me. To be honest, I find that terminology more foreboding than anything else. Go, Amia. We have lots of time to talk about the future. But if you stay up all night, you won't be getting any taller. What are you going to do if you're still a teeny tiny bean by the time Rhode Island is proudly sailing across the fast lands? If I point my ears up, I look taller, won't I? You really don't want to go back to your room, don't you? I'm not being naughty, I just... Alright, let's not tell Calcit then. You can stay a little longer. It's been a while since I told you a story, hasn't it? It's okay, I still remember all the stories you told me. A long time ago, there was a great big desert and a tiny little doll made of sackcloth. The little puppet swore he would cross the desert and find the legendary Plains of Hope. But you never told me how that story ends. Oh, that one, huh? There are a lot of scary things out there in the desert. If I were to tell you, you'd never sleep again. I'm not scared of them. Besides, with you telling the story, I'm sure it'll have a nice ending. Alright. Cut to like several hours later where Calcit is scolding Teresa for telling her a story and now she can't go to sleep. The desert. It was so vast and wide, like there was no end to it. Our little puppet had been through many great adventures. And at last, he made it. His goal was right in front of him, the Plains of Hope. What were the plains like? The kind of place that anyone would like to call home. The kind of place where all the carrot pies I could eat? Oh god, such a fucking rabbit. With everybody on the landship there too? Maybe. But things are never that easy in these stories. He still had to overcome the last obstacle that stood in his way. The desert was very cold, and the wind there never stopped. Sorry, I sort of paused as if I was William Shatner in Star Trek. Sorry, anyway. In the light of the twin moons, there seemed to be some black cloaked shadow whispering to themselves. But the moment he looked for them, they disappeared. Oh, it was just that old guy from that that one event with Calcit. Wait, was it a guy or was it a woman? I can never remember. I think it was a guy. What were the black cloaked shadows? They were the echoes of the oldest despair and sadness. If they catch you, you'll never escape them. The shadows whispered among themselves and laid trap after trap to stop the puppet. Yes, in reality, rabbits don't like carrots, but we sort of like started believing that they did. The black-cloaked shadows didn't want to let the puppet make it any further. They did everything they could to try and get him to turn around. Because if the puppet made it through the desert, hope would start to spread their way, and they would disappear. But the puppet didn't know that. His goal never once changed. The puppet made it past their traps and foiled their plans. All the tricks they had up their sleeves had failed. They were furious, and they decided they weren't going to hide anymore. They were going to duke it out with the puppet and fight him to the death. When he saw the shadows rushing toward him, the puppet took out a long spear made of a needle and some threads. Then he... Frieza, why did they become echoes of despair and sadness? Well, about that. They catch horopathy, and the pain kept them up at night. Then maybe the puppet could cure them. Just like what you and Dr. Calcit want to do. Cure them? If the puppet cured them and turned them into, happy and peaceful shadows, then everybody could go to the Plains of Hope together, right? Were they born baddies who liked to scare people? No, dear, of course not. The puppet found out that they all had wounds on their body. It was the wounds that turned them into who they were. Couldn't he fix them up with his needle and thread? Just like what you always do. Maybe. Perhaps it's worth a try. Sleepy? No, I'm not. Did he do it? The puppet tried over and over. The stitches were thick and ugly. The black cloaked shadows were livid. What happened next? Maybe peace and happiness didn't really come so easily, but in the end, they decided to let the puppet go. The black cloaked shadows watched the puppet walk into the distance. They decided they'd let the puppet give it a shot, but a big river stood before him. He didn't even know how wide it was. All he knew was that he couldn't see the other side of the river. At that point, surely it would be a sea. He knew that the Plains of Hope were on the other side, but there weren't any boats nearby. There wasn't even a decently sized frond. What do I do now? The puppet thought to himself, and he decided to see if he could swim across. But he's a cloth puppet. Right, he was made of cloth, and if he got wet, he would only get heavier and heavier until he sank to the bottom of the river. But from there you could walk. But if he stopped here, his journey would have been for nothing. You make a good point, Les. He leapt into the water and found that the river was cold and salty, like tears. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say, like a sea, but that would just be petty of me. Apparently, a lot of people across the lands wanted to go to those plains, but not one of them succeeded. It was their tears that formed this river. The puppet finally understood just how many people shed tears over this. Honkshoe. The puppet swam and swam. He felt his body slowly soaking up the tears. Did the other side of the river really exist? Perhaps the shadows were right. It was called the Plains of Hope because no one could truly make it there. People speak different languages, and their hearts are not connected. Home. Home. But a river meant that there must also be a source to return to. Sleep soundly, Amia. Good night. Amia has no idea how she got back to her room that night. She slept very soundly. Did the puppet make it across the shore? What happened in the end? A ravine suddenly appeared, just like that. The two sides have lost contact. And bone whale. Amia? Ah, Doctor, when did you get back? Is everyone waiting for me? I'm sorry, I'll just need a minute. You did well. Yeah. It's okay, Doctor. I'm all ready. Let's head over there together. We're about ready for departure. Every one of us has to leave Brentwood. Good thing these bones are large enough for all of us to fit. The military commission must already have caught wind that we've taken control of the town and the lifebone. It goes without saying that the skeleton is of tremendous importance. The counter-offensive might already be on the way. Perhaps the Sarkaz are watching our every move as we speak. Ever since their rapid tactical unit, the Witchling, took to the skies, it's always felt like God damn it. It's always felt like somebody's been watching us in the mist. It's unnerving. The battle will only get more dangerous from here on out. We all know that. The Exemplars will not give up their counter-offensive on Londinium. We have no other choice. Victoria's people have endured this long enough already. Good thing we seized the skeleton. Under ideal conditions, it will serve as a temporary stronghold. The wounded and civilians will also get to settle down for a little. Besides, if what Hodera said is true, it can teleport anywhere, although it might make the users nauseous. This is indeed some much appreciated help, but something is bothering me. Why wouldn't the military commission defend such an important transport to the death? Perhaps they gave up because of the pressure of the battlefield, or perhaps Dukariel, the Sanguine Arch, underestimated his enemies. Well, we know from the past that he was very arrogant. I will be annoyed if that was like a deliberate brushing off and not just him being a petty little shit. But it's more likely that their plan in Londinium has already reached a stage where they can't afford to worry about anything happening outside. Sanguine Arch has still completed his final ritual. That may be exactly why they turned their gaze not to the Lifebone but somewhere else. Hodera has finished negotiating with the consciousness left in the skeleton. It will, yes, listen to our proposal. With its help, we will be able to return to the battlefield at any moment. Most importantly, it gave us an opportunity to get close to the airship and the shard. If we make use of this trump card well, just maybe, we'll be able to mount an airborne assault on central Londinium. Take out their headquarters directly. Good, I like that. The area around the shard is heavily guarded, and my guess is that the military commission's airship won't let us hover over their heads without a fight. So, Bone Whale versus living airship. That's a battle I would like to see. All we can do is find an opening for our strike team to enter. And as soon as they've made it in, we'll have the Lifebone depart. That means the strike team can't retreat. But at the same time, we still have to get to the bottom of what's been bothering Amia. What exactly are the Sarkaz planning? How to foil their little tricks? We won't be able to take the shard with this little time by ourselves, but we still have friends inside to that massive city. I suppose I should... No, I can speak properly as her because, you know, anyway. Win rate W. Oh no, what? Sorry, that's not win rate. I'm so gamer pilled that I thought that said win rate. That's supposed to be Y rate? Like pirate? No, I don't know. We need to get in touch with them. According to our intelligence, they're likely aren't many combatants stationed inside the Shard. Based on my experience fighting their commander, if Teresis... Amia, what would you say our chances are? No, we should avoid direct confrontation with him at all costs. No one is strong enough to single-handedly defeat Teresis. Besides, our greatest threat right now is not a single powerful Sarkaz hero, rather, it is their ambition to see their plans come to fruition. We will only be able to end this war quickly by stopping it from happening. To this day, I still think of these as cigarettes. Or I don't think they're cigarettes, I think they look like them. A few squads on their own can't end a war. We still need a Victorian military. It's true that the Duke of Windermere perishing on the front lines is beyond what any of us might have... Oh. Forgive me, Lady Delphine. Standing beside you now is an intelligence officer in the service of Duke Windermere, not her daughter. Pay me no mind. The Duke of Windermere's untimely passing has disrupted the fragile balance on the outskirts of Londinium. They are at the brink of war. Until a few weeks ago, I was still under the impression that if the Dukes were to put their minds to it and attack Londinium together, Sarkaz's defeat would have been all but assured. This will be a decisive battle, one far worse than what any of the bigwigs have been anticipating. I'd like to say they wish this upon themselves, but it's the frontline soldiers and the innocent civilians who are suffering right now. So when the time comes, who's gonna win? Us, the Exemplars, or the Dukes? Sorry, I guess I shouldn't be asking that before an operation. It's fine. I know what it is you're worried about. But there's no need to worry. A great many people stood up, raised their heads, and woke from their dreams because of this calamity, whether willingly or not. Aristocrats are worse and worthless once again. Yep. You are far from the only ones. We need to focus on the problem at hand. How to break through the battlefield of our Londinium counter-offensive, as well as how to stop the Shard strikes. The next step in the Sarkaz plan most likely has to do with Originium. It's very likely that they will apply ancient Sarkaz research on Originium. We don't have time, we need to decide en route for our advance. Taking the battlefield head-on is our one and only choice. We received a transmission indicating that we have several Rhode Island support teams on the way. There are many things we will only be able to accomplish here as Rhode Island. I will command the operation. I will see our... Yeah, I'll just do this one. Don't make a promise if you can't keep it. And put this crisis behind us. What did I just say about making promises you can't necessarily keep? It seems none of us have any objections. That being the case... Everyone turns to Amia. No pressure. Suddenly you feel a hint of relief, gratification, excitement and pride. After all, you are standing right beside her. This war has come to a head, and Teresis intends to use some more decisive and forceful means to tear Victoria to shreds. This has nothing to do with whether the Sarkaz truly have a right to revenge. It has nothing to do with whether the nobles may bear this heavy burden for Victoria. If we solve all of our problems by destroying our enemies, then this land, plagued by war from the beginning, has no hope. The Confessari and Teresis are there, at the heart of Londinium, toppling this empire standing on shaky ground. I will go to them, and I will stop them. For that future, and for the future of all. So no pressure. Isn't a big gap like this a waste? Got some real juicy explosives from closure. That's enough to pack every corner of this place full. And they're still cooking up stupid ideas like mounting an attack on Londinium. This is the military commission we're talking about. Who knows what tricks Dresses has up his sleeve. So, bomb the place straight up. Your crazy is showing. Why do you think the military commission went through all that trouble to hide this skeleton instead of treating it as a secondary airship? This thing is fragile. It's only thanks to the witchcraft device that we can communicate with the Fahrenheit's lingering breath of life. An attack, no matter how weak, could spell the end of it. You think I'm talking about dropping bombs out of it? I'm saying let's make it the bomb. There's at least 5 jokes, none of which I'm going to make. Bomb that can just fly. Bomb that can fly just about anywhere it wants. You're better than this. You're better than this. That can fly right into Tress's face at any moment. Perfect bomb. What? You're still thinking about letting it take us back to Casdell? If we don't deal with Teresis, we ain't going anywhere. Let's take the simplest path to solving our problems here. The Shard is the tallest tower in Londinium at the moment. Got something to share with the class? Nothing at all, but I didn't expect to see you so tense. Should I teach you a few deep breathing techniques? Huh? Whatever, W. Get in the right frame of mind for this operation, otherwise no amount of explosive is going to fix what's going on in your head. And that just means we're going to need even more bombs. Ah. If you say so. Phew. Inez. What? Remember when we ran into that lich the other day? Never mind, forget it. You're wondering whether the trees are out there is surreal or not again, aren't you? Hmm? Enough of that already. I'm not the one you need to convince. I wasn't the one who called her a fake first either. Did I ever tell you your arts are disgusting? I didn't need to read your shadow. You've been pretty anxious for a while now. Brain cell goes. And it's just Sandy from SpongeBob saying, "Did somebody say boom?" And just explodes. What will you do if you run into her again? I told you, it's a fake. I'm gonna kill it and be done with this. And what if it's not? Then I'll rescue her and get to the bottom of everything. That's Teresa. I know. I think you don't. You haven't figured out how to treat Teresa, how to handle an enemy leader. That's a taboo, and you know it far better than I do. Inez, I don't know. You know what pisses me off the most? I remember a lot of stuff. I remember the crystal on the head of that old fart who taught me how to make explosives. I remember the prices on your heads. I remember how Her Highness wrestled with that door. And how Calcit once got her hair caught in the same door. Oh god, that would have been hilarious. I remember all these things that don't fucking matter. But I don't remember. I can't for the life of me remember when the last time I saw her was. Or even what we talked about. Yeah, I barely ever had a normal conversation with her. No, you were too busy fangirling. There were so many of us on the ship. I was small potatoes, and she was Babble's chairman. It was probably a joke, some silly compliment or nagging. Parts being a petty little AI. I know there's something going on with Parts, but ugh. It definitely wasn't a goodbye. This time, I'll make up for that and say it, then I won't forget. Anyways, I've got to get my mercs checking over the equipment. This is going to be one hell of a job. Whatever you say. But if your legs give out on you and you need somebody to give you a good kick in the arse, you know who to call. Ghostbusters! You call it like Parts, the German in me calls it Pritz. I think it's because in English the closest words I have to PRTS would be Parts. I don't know if there is another word. There probably is, I just can't think of it. Well, Prats. But I feel like that's probably a less... that one is probably not as complimentary of a name. Like, that's the only other thing I could think of other than Parts would be Pratt. And I don't know if Pratt translates well to any of the Americans in the room, but in like British English, a Pratt is basically like, you know, an idiot, a prick, kind of a mix of the both. Not a brat, it's not interchangeable. It just sounds similar. Which is why I always give a little giggle when I hear Chris Pratt. But yeah, anyway. Pritz is more like German pronunciation of each letter mashed together. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same because we'll call it like Perts, Parts. It could be either way. But yeah, we would always... In English anyway, we would almost always put the vowel after the first consonant when reading out an acronym, even if it doesn't make a word. Brad prepared me a Parts shoot you with a tranquilizer. Yeah, that's probably another reason why you shouldn't use it. Jazz music stops. Yeah, this nightmare has gone on long enough. We should be looking straight ahead. Oh, straight ahead took us straight ahead. All preparations are complete. The airship is ready to take flight. Yes. It will be over soon. Walk with me one last time, Teresis. Very well. The military commission of Casdell has secretly constructed airship docks just like this one in the support layers of several sectors throughout Originium. Where the fuck did I get that word from? Throughout Londinium. This is the largest among them, and it is where the airship was born. The ship is seen as a terrifying weapon of war, a herald of destruction, and a flying fortress. But very few are aware of the original intent behind the airship's construction. It is to uncover a buried secret. Was it the chicken or the egg? And beyond that, it is to break free of an eternal shackle. The brother and sister walking in the great ship dock down a long passageway where every Sark as they pass stops and greets the two of them. See now, can they really break free from an eternal shackle if it's of their own making? Now you Originiumify every word. See, I nearly did it with original as well. If it's got Ori or Ium at the end of it, I'm suddenly making it Originium, apparently. Or rather, the Inium is a bit of it. When was the last time they had a nice walk like this together? Thinking about it, compared to the amount of time they have spent together, the days that have passed is nothing. But they were also long enough. What's on your mind, Teresa? I suddenly remembered that when Casdell was rebuilt into a nomadic city, we stood next to each other on the city walls, shoulder to shoulder, just like this. It was supposed to be a happy day, but then it rained. Some said it was a bad omen, but I still remember how the soul furnace's flames looked all the brighter in the rain. And there's more. I'm suddenly remembering so much. It's been too long. It's been too long indeed. From Casdell to Casdell. Our goal lies right before us. There is but one last step in our plan. Those who walk after us will find a great city standing tall upon this land, and we, Sarkaz, will do as we wish, seizing control of our own fate. Pornium, okay. I was wondering what pronium was supposed to be. I need you. Yes, I know. The warriors who once firmly believed in your path, the girl who is called the King of Sarkaz, they've all come before you now. Of course they've come. Or they came, rather. I've always believed they would. Have you decided how you will confront them? I've never once been confused, but I had hoped this day would take longer to arrive. Now that it's come to this, I actually feel I underestimated those I should have had faith in. Dresses, I'm delighted. I'm delighted that even after we've made this decision, they are still willing to stand up against us. They are decisive and strong, and they are growing at an unimaginable pace. Perhaps they will make their way to you in the end. I mean, let's be real, someone could tell me Londinium is an element or an alloy, and I would believe it. I mean, to be honest, isn't it? I know that... Oh, I feel like there is. I mean, I know Londinium is the Roman name of London. It is not. Huh. There's a fictional element called Londinium. That might be why. It is funny though that all of the elements named after places have Eum, and then you've got Americum, because in America they don't have the Eum. It's always like aluminum. Random bot. Nope, it was instantly deleted by the moderator. Yeah, Americum. They really like it. They may be much stronger now than the woman I was. The one who couldn't accomplish anything. I'm looking forward to it. I don't like the fact that they're kind of talking about this as if it would be okay if they lose. I mean, I know they kind of had that same mindset when fighting each other, because it did kind of feel like Teresa's would be fine if he lost because it means that hers would continue, but it's like, it was weird, and it's weird now. I don't like that. Why are you looking forward to the possibility of losing? Stop. That's wrong. I don't like it. Then it's time for me to leave too. Like, it made sense during the Civil War, because it was basically just a case of two siblings who didn't agree with each other going, let's see whose ideals win out. That was basically the idea. And that at least makes sense. But if they're doing all of this just to lose in the end, or at least have that as being an outcome that they're okay with, that is the point where I'm like, why the fuck do this in the first place? And it's not like you were testing Rhode Island either, because, sorry, but as much as they've only done a portion compared to everyone else in Victoria that's been doing it themselves. It's Arcas are used to losing. Yes, but they're normally bitter about it. And they normally thrash against it. This, though, feels like if they lose, they're fine because the outcome means that they still get what they want, just not in the way that they wanted it. And again, it's like, if that was the goal, then why bother fighting in the first place? You could have just helped them to begin with. And yes, I know that's how the Civil War happened as well. They could have just helped each other, but instead fought over it instead. But it's like, it's weird. They're weird. RI enabled most of it from the shadows, like misery freeing, horn, etc. I mean, yes, don't get me wrong, they did do a lot. I just feel like, in the grand scheme of things, because bear in mind we're also following Rhode Island, which means we don't see what the rest of Victoria does as well. But it does feel like they're doing a lot, and their actions would shift things, and it is shifting things. But it's just like, can you really test them based on that, if that was the goal? That's pretty much the point I was trying to make here, because, like, yes, they're doing work, but if you had replaced them with someone else, could it have been the same outcome? Or maybe not. You know, there's no way of really knowing. Who's to say they wouldn't have lost once all the Dukes got together and fought them anyway? Because that, I feel like, would be inevitable the moment they started doing this. It's I don't know, it's just a weird one. Like, if that was their goal, to see if Rhode Island is worthy, I feel like there'd have been other ways of doing it. That's a little bit more direct. It's pretty much basically what I mean. So I feel like that's not the reason. Anyway, Teresa steps onto the airship's gangway, while Teresis remains where he stands, quietly watching her. Teresa, this time we should bid each other a proper farewell. Teresa reaches her hand out and smooths out the creases on Teresa's cloak. Goodbye. Goodbye. I was going to say it tends to lead in tragedy every single time these two part for one last time. The silence lasts until the steel doors close and its thick shadow shrouds the two of them. They say nothing more. The pulsing of the myriad souls is ceaseless. Teresa lightly closes her eyes to bear with its surge. The endless murmurs are like the tide. It exhausts. It drags those within it ever downward, and it suffocates. Perhaps within it once existed brief moments of happiness, or the occasional delight, but there is simply too much pain. So much of that pain permeates every word and sentence. Myriad souls, even though I have almost completely exhausted myself, I still cannot see the other side. Scattered hearts abound on these lands. For an actual military ship, the windows are such ridiculous weak points. Yeah, you're kind of right, to be honest, because when you think about warships in the real world, they don't have windows, except for, like, key areas. So the bridge has windows. Some parts of the ships have portholes. More so during the 20th century than now. Nowadays, it is pretty much entirely enclosed inside. And Age of Sail ships didn't have windows except for the back of the ship where the captain would be living. Although those ships did have hatches for cannons. I mean, technically not actually a ship, it just takes the shape of an airship. True, but still. People actively work inside it, so it will take a lot of damage. And to be fair, it is an airship in the same way that Tin Man is just a statue, technically speaking, a metal body. It's the spirit that makes it take shape and move and all that, but I believe they still have to design it as an airship in order for it to function that way, or rather in order for the creature to use it in that way. It may not need all the physical properties like a ballast or an air tank and stuff like that, but it probably still needs to take on the form in order for it to be used that way. And so even if I have only grief at my disposal, even if my body was wrought of tears, be my oar and be my ark. Let tears carry tears, and let suffering lift up suffering. Wouldn't it then do a nicer inside? Yeah. It's time that we set sail. I mean, someone in the Sarkaz sort of like interior design department basically just went, so how are we going to make this look? To which the manager says, okay, think Sauron and Mordor, but diesel punk. And go with that. Logos is examining the bone whistle in his hands. He knows every pattern carved into it and every wear and tear on its surface. He remembers receiving this from his mother when he was still a small child. Its sound was not nearly as sonorous and vivid as it is now. So this is the Banshee's bone whistle. It's my first time seeing the real thing. Banshees are a rare sight among mercenaries to begin with, much less one with a bone whistle. That said, I've heard plenty of stories about Bone Whistle. It's a symbol of terror. Its sound foretells death's pursuit. The Banshees portend death, and willingly serve as the embodiment of death and danger. But I rarely ever saw you use the whistle, not at Babel all those years ago, or at Rhode Island now. The vampire accused you of rejecting the power of your bloodline. It already sounded, it need not sound again. Metaphors about death itself are a dime a dozen. What comes after death? True, the Banshees portend death, but nothing more. If death wasn't the end of all beings, and there was more than nothingness after the toll of the death knell, then this foretelling would have been meaningless. That's why we set down the bone whistles for bone pens. New meaning is born from the pen's tips, while the past is only recorded by the same tips. This is why we stand together now, Hodera. Is that right? Yes, toward the other side of death, rebirth. It matters not what Teresis intends to accomplish. This war will not and cannot be allowed to develop into a raging fire that destroys the Sarkaz, as history has seen countless times before. Said the person who caused it at least once. Also, I'm glad you're awake, but I guess this now means I'm going to have to be reading a lot more. Having burned for so long, this hatred cannot be easily extinguished, but we can stop it from engulfing all souls upon these lands. This includes each and every race there is. Doctor, hold on tight. The final battle is about to begin. Ooh. The Farenwood skeleton wriggles its body and once again dives straight into the history. The fragments of time are like bubbles in a muddied stream. After they break up, the remains are still vague and indistinct. Anya feels the rippling space-time rushing past her. You look at her, and you see her eyelashes twitching. What exactly does she see? Perhaps nothing more than reflections passing by, or fleeting hallucinations. The distance between memories and history is always much longer than we expect. Countless sceneries, both ancient and modern, sweep by under the Farenwood's frame. Those who find themselves within are astonished by this advancement or regression of times, the disasters that unfold before them, and the happiness in their hands. But when looking up upon them from high above, perhaps these sights have never actually changed. Hello, Merwind. I'm doing well, hope you're doing good. Then, the illusion grows much stronger and more twisted. A seed is rapaciously absorbing nutrients. It writhes, whimpers, trying to tear away all fabricated representation. This creation, far beyond human comprehension, waits silently. The slightest movement is enough to rend the containment and allow the crystals to proliferate. No, this isn't right. This isn't the Farenwood's power. Sky. The entire sky's burning red. Oh, no worries. Have a nice break. Watch for as long as you need and then get some good rest. The lifebone is out of control. It's been pulled off its original course. Are we under attack? Ready, damage control. Guard the entrances to all cabins. Watch for attacking aircraft. We're preparing anti-boarding measures. Anti-boarding measures. All non-combatants, retreat, rather. Mercs, fan out. Don't let any drooling morons onto the ship. Any damage reports? I'm checking, but what's going on? This makes no sense. The sensors I set up are all reading normal. The skeleton's not damaged at all. I just got word from the observation post. They've spotted no enemies. We're losing altitude. I can't control it. What the f is happening? This isn't a skeleton Isn't a skeleton your best friend, Hodra? Get it to chill out. Hodra, can you adjust the course at all? We mustn't land in the center of the battlefield. I'm trying. Buckle up, everyone. I don't want anyone getting flung out through the gaps of the bones. I've sent out all my drones to try and pull the Farronwood's bones back to reduce the impact of the crash. Don't let your hopes up, though. Is it bad that I'm thinking of the plane crash in Madagascar too? Our descent is slowing, going by the current speed. We'll hit the ground very soon. The meaning of language shall grant us wings. I command these words to lift this weight. It's working. Keep chanting your incantations, Banshee. Hodra, keep steering us north. There's a valley there. We should fit right in. I'm on it, but my link with the Farronwoods is fading. I can't control it much longer. Got some good news and some bad news. The good news is we're landing immediately. The bad news is we're crash landing. I love that scene so much. Monster. It's so weird seeing this now that I know things. Excited howling. Take the doctor. Prepare for impact. This isn't exactly comfy. Calm down, Doctor. You'll be fine. I feel like if there's a sudden crash, we're more likely to get impaled by all of the protruding parts of, I guess it's safe to say her. Amia, how are things going over? All the wounded and civilians have been relocated. Feist and Rock are working on getting the transport secured. Inviting W for birthday events, oh god. Got it. Inez, my mercs have anything to say? They're all here with me, working on getting some witchcraft going. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Monster is flying. We need a little more time. We should be able to withstand half of the impact's force. Tell Hodra these bones won't shatter here. The valley's in sight. Our angle's not quite there yet. We need to turn left another 20 degrees. Last chance for adjustments. 20 degrees, I'm certain of it. All hands, brace for impact. The rest comes down to luck. 10 seconds to impact. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, I didn't hear no crash. There we go. The origin of all has been revealed, and all shall return to it. Don't like the sound of that. Also, Merwin, reading that, I immediately thought of the nuke in Call of Duty Zombies. You know, the kaboom. 1 hour for the intro cutscene. Yep, that sounds about right. And I'm going to go on an assumption here and assume that we're not in Kansas anymore looking at this stage. Also, I like how they called it Stage 2 this time, just so that we don't feel bad about it taking like an hour just to get to this point. Oh, 21? Not that one. That's overkill. for level... For level 20. I mean, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to touch it. I want to see what it's like first, what the enemies are. Oh, God, we start with a cutscene as well. 30 minutes earlier. Underground structure, Highbury Borough, London. London? Fucking hell. Londinium. You're back. How are things up top? Same as ever, maybe worse. I used to be scared of those devil mercenaries who ask you for a smoke. The worst you'll get is a slap on the face if they feel like it. But now? It's all monsters you can't even describe. That'll turn you into a puddle of blood without so much as blinking. You know what? I've been sleeping better, because I know there's nothing but death if I run into one of them. Are the Sarkaz still grabbing workers off the streets? Didn't see anything. We didn't dare go too far. Doesn't seem like the Sarkaz are interested in running the city. Yeah, running the city anymore. There's no one maintaining public order. They couldn't fully occupy Londinium, could they? What use is it to them? Are they really planning to drive the Victorian capital all the way back to Casdell? Who knows? Honestly, I haven't a clue what they're trying to do. Why go through so much trouble if they just want to kill everyone? How sad. Those who betrayed their friends for a better future are soon betrayed by the better future. No one expected things to turn out like this. You know we didn't mean to. Let me guess. You mean us no harm but handed us to the defense forces out of fear. How kind and gentle. You all deserve a medal. Also, I've heard her voice now that I've finished the event, and yeah, she sounded exactly like I expected. Catherine, we... Save it. I don't have time to dig up old grudges. Not that it would help anything anyway. At least you didn't gift wrap my head and face and give them to the Sarkaz. Question is, what do we do now? We can hide here. We know the underground passage is better than the Sarkaz. That's your plan, Tommy? Live underground for the rest of your life like a Talpa beast? Why don't you just go hide in a coffin then? I don't blame you for what you did. Given a choice, no one wants to go to war, but war is here now, right in our homes. There's nowhere to run. I ran into a few fellows who said they could get us some decent weapons, I reckon. Is that thunder? The rain would be really nice right now. That ain't no thunder. Why is it shaking? Is Londinium on the move? But the mobility level is... Something's not right. Let's head up and see what's happening. Be careful. Ah, the window from The Last of Us menu. What is it, Catherine? You're blocking the window. Oh, come on, it's not that big. A massive silhouette of the Shard is just visible from here. Oh yeah, just visible. The most familiar sight and the pride of all who call Londinium home. But the annoying yet comforting blankets of clouds above are nowhere to be seen. Wait, what's that on top of the Shard? Take all our supplies and contact everyone we can. We need to move deeper underground now. Hurry! For a moment I thought I saw my breath. Battleship. 15 minutes earlier. Silver Rock Bluffs, Londinium outskirts. What is that? What in... I'm sorry, no. I will not let this stand. What the fuck is up with your face? What is that? In what possible way does that have any kind of... That makes me visibly angry. It's bad enough that you make it look like some sort of weird pet play, but why is it there? Jesus Christ. She likes her stuff chained. Yeah. That's just fucking wrong. Okay. We're approaching Silver Rock Bluffs. That means the attacks will start soon. When I first heard Wellington's plan a few days ago, do you know what my initial reaction was? You thought it was too ambitious, Your Grace. Ambitious? I think you mean crazy. Yes, crazy. He wants the entire Allied forces committed to the front lines. 13 dreadnoughts, 45 assault ships, 172 gunboats. Fucking hell, I want to see that! Like, please, give me landship battles. I want to see what it looks like. I know we're not going to get it, and if we do, it's going to be purely written description. But come on! Oh, still going. 86 transports, 10 support ships, all our artillery, and 180,000 infantry, including the entire reserves. I'll do it. I mean, I'd have to do it. If you can somehow fail this, you don't deserve Victoria. Is the anime budget going to be so cooked if they get to this point? Honestly, yes. Like, that will be the only time we get to see this if they bother to show it. They might not even bother to show the naval conflict and just focus entirely on Rhode Island in Londinium, which I will be so sad if that's the case. Like, yes, I know I'm a bit of a Navy buff, so therefore I like to see these things, but come on. We've yet to see a full-on landship battle. Not just in Arknights, but, like, in general. There's very few, like, stories, like games or shows or stuff that show, like, landship battles. And considering that you can't sink anything, like, can you imagine how much of a slugfest that would be? Like, you can get so much drama out of something like that. Anyway. It wasn't an inquiry or request. It was a notice, almost an order. The Duke of Wellington has also abandoned the traditional Gaulish formation of multiple battle lines, instead having all fleets form single-file lines to penetrate the Naxxrair line all at once. Okay, so you're kind of doing an Age of Sail battle line. That was done because all of the guns were on the side, so in order to have a decent broadside, you have to... all the ships would be... they'd all be out, like, you know, horizontally, and then they would converge into a single-file line, and then sail up alongside each other to then broadside each other the fuck out of it. Just broadside the fuck out of each other until someone sinks or gives up. In this case, it seems like they're doing the same thing, but with landships. They would roll in and then presumably fire on everything that's to the side of them as they roll through. Which is another thing. They've got so many landships. Are there Sarkaz landships? I know that Sarkaz tanks. That's another thing I want to see. Like, would it look as battered and scrap metal-like as all the other things that the Sarkaz make? Or would it be a little bit more like the airship? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that I like, and it's just like, we don't get to see because it's all, you know, there's only so much they can show. They have an airship that one-shots landships. Well, yes. But I mean, you know, in terms of the Naxxrair lines, like, is it just infantry? Or is it battleships too? Do they have battleships? What do they look like? I want to know. Gododin and our forces are to be responsible for fire support and cleaning out casters in the Sarkaz rear, while Wellington's vanguard charges at the centre of the Naxxra formation. The Silver Rock Bluffs, currently under Sarkaz control, is a key pass between the Redmane Mountains and the Duskglow River, and a highly defensible position. The enemy can easily retreat towards Londinium, even if we win the battle. I would have staunchly opposed the plan if it was not Wellington who proposed it. But you and the rest of the High Commanders eventually consented to it. See, now that's uncharacteristic of a British-themed country. Because those motherfuckers would never agree on any plan. Like, if it was between the Navy, the Army, the Air Force, none of them would ever agree to any plans. Or at best, they would half-ass the provisions that they supply the other force. Anyway. We've seen similar tactics in the military academies. They were the same tactics used in that legendary battle of the War of the Four Nations, in which Duke Wellington fought. In Victorian Lifanian, Alliance split the Gaulish lines into three and quashed their resistance. That's what happened in Waterloo, right? If I remember correctly? That battle put Victoria on a new course for the next several decades. Glorious as it may be, the past is no place to find refuge in. I was going to say, they're kind of making the same mistake that they did with World War I and assume that the things that they did in their heyday would work again. Do you also think the Iron Duke has grown old? Wellington is a military genius. He commands battleships with the same ease and grace as a Lifanian virtuoso. I have never seen anyone quite like him. He is not the one, those fools blindly chasing the glory of the past. He is not one of those, rather. The Sarkaz is not the end, but merely the beginning of the end of the real battle. As for here and now, it's not just Wellington who needs a decisive victory. The Sarkaz have the Shard, and they have successfully fired it before. They could attack us on anywhere in Victoria at any moment rather. Well, plus they still mostly think of the Sarkaz as barbarians. I would be surprised if that's the case. Surely they've heard reports by now, because like the frontline fighting that they had been going against is like full on, you know, it's like fighting the armies of chaos. However, our war scholars deem any losses from the Sarkaz catastrophe attacks to be within acceptable limits. Those losses will not compromise our ability to achieve our strategic objective. Sarkaz have not refueled Londinium since it deviated from course. The city is immobile as of now. Once we take the pass at Silver Rock Bluffs, the Sarkaz will no longer have a terrain advantage, and the Allied fleets will have a clear path to Londinium. Here's the other thing that I don't like about this. This is one country. They shouldn't be calling them Allied fleets. The fact that they're calling them Allied fleets just shows how disconnected this country is. Because those aren't allies. They're their country. Every single member of this fleet is part of this same country. It's asinine. Indeed, if everything goes well, we will be able to end this meaningless stalemate as quickly as possible. That killed their own king. Well, yes, but to be fair, that alone isn't much. We did that. Granted, the Republic of England was not good, and therefore we went back to the monarchy because it was ironically better, but we've done that. It's not bad, and I know this is supposed to be like feudal, so it makes sense that the dukes and that have their own armies. But even then, we wouldn't refer to them as allies. We'd refer to them as the Army of England once they all come together to do their thing, and then the Army of Britain once that was a thing. Even when it was still feudal, it's like, this country is too fractured. Like, no wonder they lost so effortlessly. Yet the word stalemate isn't an apt description for the Sarkaz and Victoria. Telegrams from Caster Hold are increasingly impatient. One cannot fault our backers for it. War is far too expensive. Okay, I'm not going to keep ranting. The promise fulfilled too late is a promise unfulfilled. Are those the cannons of Gastrel going off? The Duke of Wellington's attack has begun, but it's not time yet. Your Grace, what was that red light coming from the distance? That light? It's coming from top the Shard. Hail Wellington right now, we must... Uh-oh. If they annihilated their entire fleet, I'm going to be even more annoyed. Ouch. Doctor, are you okay? The doctor will be fine. Monster absorbed the brunt of the impact. How are the others? The good news is that we fell into a canyon. Into a canyon. Our precise location is uncertain, but we're at least a distance from the worst of the fighting. Doja, Horn, and Siege have gone out to scout our surroundings. You should be briefed on the specifics soon. We're still assessing our personnel and equipment losses. Preliminary reports indicate that pre-impact measures were effective and losses are acceptable. Well, that means we did lose people. Medical and engineering units are already at work. I'm afraid there's been some troubling development. The sky. It's red. That would indeed be troubling. Watch your step. Keep up with us, Doctor. Ooh, oh. Ew. Okay, I hear gunshots. That means they're still fighting. That means not the entire fleet was destroyed. Suffering extends its reach to every corner the eye can see. From the top of the Shard, Originium spreads like a plague, devouring, assimilating. Buildings, ships, armies, Originium devours all and quickly expands. An unprecedented calamity indeed, one that puts even the most terrifying catastrophes to shame. And yet, an army marches through the roiling Originium crystals, its tattered banner visible even from here. Suffering is but a marching order for the Sarkaz. The ever-hungry procession of Sarkaz advances to the horns of the wailing, sinking their teeth and claws into any enemy they find. Ah, Stonehenge. Anyway, one of the, I'm assuming it's one of the vampire things that they discovered earlier. Blood-stained boulders litter the wasteland as far as the eye can see, looking decidedly out of place. The whipping winds have ceased, giving way to a rising fog. The withered grass remains unstirred, yet countless tattered bandages already dangle across. Sarkaz warriors stand in line, soundless and motionless. waiting for the embodiment of death and decay, the master of war, their king. A withered figure emerges from the death-filled fog. Oh, you're a little bit more blue than normal. I'm assuming that's being lit up. Actually, yeah, now that I think about it, isn't it normally just one half of it? On the hills, he stands, doing the "you want to have a go" pose. Through the swamps, he passes. Out of the fog, he glides through the wind and sand, rising from the withered grass. And upon the art's ritual circles, he descends. So basically, he's everywhere. Tattered stripes of cloth fall to the blood-filled columns, like a bony hand caressing a tombstone. Only the most seasoned warriors recognize that the Naxxra's tattered ribbons, like the banners of Kasdel's walls, belong to generations of ancient Sarkaz tribes. Their form ragged, their symbols recognizable, but their scent of war unmistakable. Kariel, Regent's Crimson, Prince of Blood. We were never close. But the contribution that you and your blood made to the war is undeniable. I bear witness to your glory and shame. Slayer of the Farenmut in the mist, jailer of time. Usurper of the royal court, executioner of kings. You denied the path that we now walk, as you've denied the meaning of the Black Crown. But you gave your first and final drop of blood to the Sarkaz. Your power shall not fade away, nor shall your anger, your hatred, your ambition. He spreads his arms wide. A black fog of decay rises, swallowing every boulder. Red fades into the sand and dirt, vanishing into the mist. The warriors do not speak, but the earth begins to rumble as ancient witchcraft spreads across the battlefield. God, what horrors are we going to be fighting this time? I'm assuming the annoying blood slugs are gone, but I dread to think what the Naxxra stuff is. I mean, I know we fought some of the Naxxra stuff anyway, because that's like the clouds of necrosis, but, you know, I imagine there's going to be more. War, we nourish you with our best. Their blood and bones at your behest. We are the living and the dead. Together we march as one. The black fog dissipates. The mechanics are fun, or you brute force it like Kay did. I mean, I am generally quite good at brute forcing things, even if I shouldn't be. Even if it means suffering and everyone like wants to strangle me over it. A drop of blood forms at the tip of Nesselim's staff. It is the purest blood, the only blood that death and decay cannot touch. This is the blood of Tikaz. It evoked the call of, oh my god, Amnanam. Amnanam. Om nom nom nom. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. But was lost in the battle's art circle. The Confessari searched 70 of them without finding it. But Nesselim, Your Highness, you have found it for the Regent. That's like a hungry toddler, yeah. The drop of red liquid drifts towards Salus and enters her wrist. Keep it safe, Confessarius. Of course, I vow to protect it with all the strength of my bloodline, my life. The vampiric art circles are still active. What of the sanguine arch of vampires? The purest bloodline, the cruelest of the sovereigns, the pride of Sarkaz. Did he really die so easily? At the hands of the young banshee and the rabbit? He has not joined the myriad souls, but away has he drifted. It's a shame to waste so much blood. Meddler of bloodlines, do not desecrate war and death with your flippant insolence. Apologies, Your Highness. I was merely lamenting the loss of the Sanguine Arch. And keep his legacy safe. His blood will continue to fight with us. Of that I have no doubt. Sovereign of the Withered Court. The blood of Tikaz will fulfill its duty. If a mere tremble of Om Nom 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 is enough to burn the heaven red and bring upheaval to the earth, then its final descent shall free our fate from the manipulation of Londinium, as the myriad souls have so longed for. Fate? War will crush all obstacles beneath its heel, even fate. The Deadwood throne rises, attended by innumerable war altars, casting a massive shadow on the battlefield. Silent columns of warriors step into the strange catastrophe, continuing their advance. We will advance before the storm, both the living and the dead. This war belongs to all Sarkaz. It does kind of make me think of Tea Kettle, yeah. A new beginning. Oh yes, young officer. Totally nothing else about that. Another quote from one of the sovereigns, General? No. I was simply reminded of the furnace at the centre of Kazdel. Oh, the big one. I witnessed many feedings before I came to Londinium. Oh, well, yeah, there's the crazy. That took like 1 second. It is an honour for a fallen warrior to be fed to it, becoming the fire that propels our progress. But it never seems to be sated. Small wonder, the flames of the Revenant's rage only burn stronger. Nadine. Okay, relatively normal name. Would you call the nomadic city by the name of Kazdel your home? What is the meaning behind the question, sir, when the final battle has already begun? I was raised on the battlefield outside Kazdel. The black rocks and the bones of my fellow Naxarir are the only things buried beneath the city walls and wheels. Where is home if not Kazdel? Yes, what other answer could there be? The future is lined with uncertainties, but this much we know. This war ends where a new beginning emerges. Most people with a proper bloodline got a normal name. I mean, I'm not exactly sure if Dulcadiel or whatever, yeah, is a normal name. I mean, yes, you got Teresa. Teresa is sort of. I don't know if Manfred is proper bloodline or not. It's just funny because it's just you have things like Ursula, and then you've got Nadine. Nadine sounds like the woman in accounting. I mean, obviously in this world it will have its own like meanings and stuff, but still, it's just funny. I mean, it could be worse. You could have a villain called Kevin. You know. No, they were very thorough in mopping up Brentwood. Just as you predicted, our casters had picked up the trail of the Faranmut skeleton's movement. They considered attacking Londinium, attacking the Shard directly. I gave them a chance, far too many chances. There is no question that Major Ursula has been negligent in her duty. She had better have a good explanation, if she lives to explain. This person has so many facial expressions. Have you located the skeleton? We have a rough idea of its location, but it will take time to find it on this vast battlefield. Should I take a squad there personally? No, I will. We will retake the Varanwood spine, or destroy it. We must not fall into the wrong... It must not fall into the wrong hands again. You're going yourself. Those mercenaries have interfered too much. They must be eliminated. Before that, though, we will finish the ritual. Oh yeah, I mean, okay, yeah, so it is the real name, but still, I mean, it's more so just the randomness of it. I mean, to be fair, some names are like Hebrew or Aramaic that seem normal to us, so maybe Nadine has like biblical references as well. I don't know. I just thought it was funny. Our Naxxrael ritual. I didn't think you cared much for tradition. Cyclops, Lich, Wendigo, Banshee, more and more have left. You've never seen these royal courts in Kasdil, have you, young Naxxrael? I suppose not. Other than the Naxxrael, it's mostly been vampires. Not the best neighbours, but you start to miss their smell when you spend enough time in Londinium. Spoken in Israel and Palestine, so sarcasm. Yeah, kind of. I mean, it makes sense. I have sort of alluded to this before. I didn't really want to say it out loud because obviously touchy subject, but it was kind of made obvious back when it was originally revealed that the Sancta come from the Sarkaz, which to me is basically the split from Judaism to Christianity, seeing as the Sancta are very obviously like Catholic pilled. So I did always wonder that before, and I think some people mentioned as well like the closest people have to like Sarkaz exclamatives or expletives, insults basically, are Aramaic or Hebrew. So it has always kind of made sense, and there are some aspects you know, very similar to a certain country. I'm not going to talk about it too much just because it is very touchy, but I do feel like they kind of lean into it to a certain extent. The blood of the fallen has returned to the earth. There will be no new prince of the Crimson Court. How many sovereigns do the Sarkaz have left? 3? Naxxrael, Onfasari, shit. I'm not counting Banshees because they split from the military commission. There is another one. It's staring at me in the face, but I can't think of what it is now. Logistics to command. We've encountered a catastrophe near Sufriel Chasm. Is that the rock or a buried out warship? It looks like a warship. I'm seeing like pylons there. Lich, there we go, thank you. Closure of the scammer court. God. At least I think it's a catastrophe. We're being drowned in a tide of Londinium. The ship has lost power. Well, that answers that question. The ship has lost power. Weapon system severely damaged. All systems inoperative. Defense systems offline. No response from arts units. I repeat, all systems inoperative. Enemy spotted. Taking heavy fire. Mobile arts device. Data. Automatic record. None of these messages made it out. The entire communication system is scrap. To think that so many have died to protect this little metal box. I salute you. Phew, that bow hurt. I should take my hat off. Our foe is unpredictable, aren't they? There's enough intel about the shards to fill an entire building. But you and I must take the blame for our present circumstances. The man in the hat looks down at his counterpart. The man on the ground lies motionless, buried to his chest in crystal-filled dirt. But the little box that he clutches in his left hand remains spotless. The Strawberry Asher pulls the rim of the fallen comrade's hat down, covering the face that no one knew to begin with. It took a little more effort to retrieve the communicator, but war has made him rather proficient undertaker. Intel received. Communications are still being jammed by severe interference. A little progress is better than nothing, I suppose. The Duke of Fife and the 6th Infantry Battalion are ambushed. The landing attempt on Cromley Plate has failed. Unable to reach the Duke of Gododin's scout fleet, Chetley has been lost. Large-scale unanticipated geological changes across the Silver Rock Bluffs front active Londinium concentration above threshold. No good news. Are those troops? The ID code is... My, what a miracle. I'm a lucky man indeed. Hmm? Lucky man indeed. Oh, there we go. For a moment I thought the game was going to crash because it just stayed on a black screen. That's off to you, good sir. Unless it does like a bamboozle and that flashing was him turning around and are those going to do damage? No, they're not. Okay. What are you lot doing?
I'll take the lead. The rest is up to you guys.
Do we have to kill everything before that reaches us? I like this music. Okay, so it's not an aerial unit because she didn't target it first. It's gotten bigger. Hmm.
Anybody hurt?
Flourish or perish.
Battle theme is by Lappy. You know what? That makes a lot of sense. That does sound very much like their music.
Agony.
There we go. Okay, yeah.
On our hearts.
Maybe what we should be doing is moving ahead.
Solid positioning.
I realize I do that now and I don't actually have a...
What's your plan?
I'm over here. Scream if you're in pain. Don't hold it in.
I'll charge the weak spots.
Damn.
Get behind me.
I'll be real with you, I was hoping that it would move after I moved them.
Your life is
Oh.
mine to protect.
Now's the time to help everyone out.
Okay, so I'm assuming it moves and then maybe it doesn't move any further, or maybe it stops. Maybe it stops once it lands on a person and it won't move again. So perhaps if I had put someone down here, just like anyone, and then retreated, it would have stayed there and then I could have continued playing defensively. That's the only thing I could think of besides just moving the boards, because that's the other option. It just continues to move until it reaches a certain point and I just have to think in advance and move people.
I'll take the lead. The rest is up to you guys. I'll charge the weak spot. Relax. It'll be over in an instant.
We'll have to see how that goes. I'm gonna, well, it's easy to test one of the theories first. So we'll find out next session, if I can, well, not next session, the next stage, if I can just place a person down, will it stop? That will be my first test. Otherwise, I'll just have to move everyone, you know, bit by bit as the tornado goes through. 3 hours later. No sign of Sarkaz troops. Well, that's what the other one said. Lifebone is a big target, and we would have left an even bigger trail behind us as we fell. I'm afraid they'll catch up to us sooner or later. It only took like 5 lives? I think it was 5? To be fair, I let people die when I didn't need to. I could have retreated them, but I didn't bother because I almost never do. I'm like a Russian general. Closure, can you confirm our position? I can only really get an approximate orientation with these maps I've got on hand. Damn, still no response. Ever since the skeleton crashed, our comms went down with it. My drones can't fly too far either. I've never seen this much interference before. Wait, I think a drone just found something. I keep thinking that's the GitHub logo. Over there. Well, either GitHub or Reddit, I can't quite remember which. Some of you might die, but that is a sacrifice I am willing to make. What's this? A voice recorder? The urge to say, ooh, what's this? Makes sense, I guess. On a battlefield like this, this is the next best way to relay intel, short of just shouting. That's a Duke Caster's crest. Let me have a look. I'm short on time, so I'll make it brief. The Stone of the Sword has arrived at Silver Rock Bluff. But the Sarkaz and their tricks are worse than what we fought here at the front line. Worse than we fought. My advice is to head to the battle from the southwest. Bring the sword. I have honoured my vow, but the rest is up to you, Your Highness. So it was the same one. No change, no improvement. Can tell your new pal if it doesn't get back on its ass soon, I'm going to break whatever bones it's got left one by one. It's long dead. Not like it can feel pain. Why not pick something more meaningful to vent about? The skeleton's voice was already ebbing. After the crash, it had stopped responding altogether. The nerve bundles are withering. We've tried everything we can to think of. Lubricant, supplements, even some crazy witchcraft I've never heard of before. My verdict is, right now it's nothing more than a colossal and breakable skeleton. It can't be dead, can it? I mean, it's already a dead Fahrenheit. You're telling me it can die again? Well, I mean, that is a James Bond movie, isn't it? Or was that Die Another Day? I think that's Die Another Day. Hey, Inez, pass me the mine over there. The one wedged between the bones. Glad you asked. Nearly stepped on it. And also, what kind of psychotic idea do you have this time? Oh, just following your suggestion. I'm going to find a proper target to blow up. Isn't that old friend of yours supposed to be the skeleton whisperer or something? I'm sure she's got an unbroken rib or two, so she could be able to talk, maybe. Well, she will if she knows what's good for her. Ursula, she does know plenty of the Fahrenheit's secrets, and it's clear she hasn't told us everything. But I have the feeling that she won't be able to help with this particular problem. Right. The source of our troubles is what's hidden in those dark red clouds above our heads. That's exactly it. I've even made a 50-page dissertation on this. Ah, the all-knowing Calcit. Let me guess, you've got even more bad news for us. Regular catastrophes have no effect on Fahrenheit's, even if it happens to be one that has been dead for several centuries. The tunnels that it's travelled in can even drill through time, so how is it that a storm can seal them off? What's happening here is beyond the scope of a mere catastrophe. Well, I could have told you that for free with less words. As we're falling, I had a vague feeling that the enormous ancient sentience remaining in these bones had gone somewhere I cannot touch. Okay, so it may not be dead, just somewhere else. Or maybe it did die. It died its true death, it's free now. Our connection with it has been severed. It might only be temporary, but if we take too long, we might lose control over it for good. Your deduction is correct. Upon his inspection, Logos confirms that the Sarkaz witchcraft cast upon this skeleton is being disrupted by a massive source of energy. It seems the vampire's ritual was completed. The Confessarius, fuck that name in particular, is aiding Teresis, and has achieved what the Sarkaz could not for millennia. So I'm wondering if Ursula is a Confessari Sarkaz, because her name has similar accents, and I can't think of other Sarkaz that do. Oh, welcome back, Kat. I thought you were streaming. I saw your VTube Studio pop up. Oh, ancient Sarkaz language. Om nom nom nom. An ancient word that refuses to heal. Can you use real words, please? The Kunabula? Oh, suffering. Okay, I'm sure there was another word that could have been used. That would have been easier to say. All right. Oh, so the Confessari aren't their own type of Sarkaz like the vampires are, or like the Naxxraria and stuff. the Compthari is just the individual organization then. Mind skipping to the part we can actually understand? I don't have all day. I'm glad W thinks like I do. It was the first curse, just as it was the first Originium. Isn't that just a legend? You know, the made-up kinds in the storybooks that Hodor loves to read. Legends are a shadow of reality, despite the untruths and half-lies painted over them, to say nothing of the fact that this is a Sarkaz legend, a Tikaz legend. You could have just said that part. Sounds to me like Tressis is cooking up some real serious beast shit to hang over Victoria. I fear that this too is the reason he chose Londinium as his base of operations. The Shard's ability to influence catastrophes and Originium is already sufficient for it to become Om Nom Nom Nom's beacon. That was really difficult for me to say Om Nom Nom and then not bacon. Across all of Terra as it is now, this is the one place it can descend. The sarcasm, god damn it. There we go, origin. It could have just been the origin of suffering. It didn't need to be the conlimbus or whatever. Well, out with it then. How do we wreck the thing? At Terra's current level of technology, there is nothing we can do. The only good news is that it has not yet fully descended. Yeah, the cumulonimbus. Not to be confused with the other activity. Have you figured something out, Logos? Logos? The drop of blood that the vampire possesses, the one he calls the blood of Tikaz, it is still fulfilling its duty. The reason why Om Nom Nom is able to leap across millennia and descend once more is because of his prayer. This does make me think of the Witch King coming back, to a certain extent. The Blood's master has fallen, but the connecting veins hold steady. If we are to prevent the reemergence of Om Nom Nom on this land, we must break the vampire's curse, quelling the hatred that resides in this drop of blood. I think I can give it a try. I was blighted in battle with the vampire, and its influence on me has not yet waned. By virtue of this, I am able to sense where the blood of Tikaz is. It's funny that he considers the boon that he and all the other Sarkaz got as a blight instead. How it feels to chew Om Nom Nom Nom. Hello Akur, joined for some lurking, no idea what's going on in Act 2 yet. Fair enough, yeah. I mean, you're nearly there, you're on Chapter 8, which is basically the end of the previous arc. Yeah. It is at the rear of the Naxxramas army. No pressure. It will likely be protected but in a Confessarius altar and heavily guarded. The amount of time required to break through the entire Naxxramas defensive line would be too much. We could cross the Red Main Mountains, bypassing most of the war zone. Taking that route carries a similar risk to storming the battlefield. Our observational reports indicate that the Red Main Mountains have been completely transformed by Om Nom Nom's influence. They are now blanketed in active Originium. I need not remind you of its extreme danger. Well, we don't seem to be affected by it. If I remember that scene in Babel correctly. But it might be possible. Shining has gone ahead to seek out blah 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 blah. And if things go well for her, she will be able to come to our aid. I support the Doctor's decision. It's the plan that saves us the most time. If we keep delaying until Dr. Cowsett speaks of, until the that Dr. Cowsett speaks of completes its descent and is used by Teresis as a weapon, then we have lost any chance we might have had to turn the tide. Even if there are risks, we must forge ahead. I'll need your help, W. You need some hands to guard this pile of bones, right, Bunny? Right. The skeleton is crucial to our next operation. Besides, Hodora needs it too. There's no doubt that the military commission has been watching us ever since we crashed. The way I see it, it makes no sense to hand back something we fought so hard to steal in the first place. Give me a time frame. The time now is 1600. 1800 rather. I read it as 6 and then tried to change it back into 24. I'll complete episode 8 soon, I hope. Well, you should be able to. You'll be able to do it faster than I did, because I think it took me quite a while to do chapter 8. I think it took like several weeks. 3 days. The surrounding terrain has completely transformed. We will need to pass through the wasteland filled with unknown dangers. Given also the fact that battles will be inevitable in our journey, I estimate at least 3 days to handle the blood of Tikaz. An immobile skeleton makes for an extremely conspicuous objective. Guarding this site will not necessarily be easier than the raids you carried out on it. I propose that Ascalon stay behind and help protect the lifebone. But my job is to stay by your side and keep you safe, Doctor. During the Sanguine Archer's attack, it was my error that led to your injury. A dangerous mistake I do not intend on repeating. The lifebone is vital, and Manfred is likely to order an assault. Also, I like how part of her outfit goes over the text option. You understand him well? I agree. The Sarkaz will be reliant on their commander personally overseeing the battle and making decisions. If you are able to stem Manfred's advance, then that might relieve pressure on the mercenaries. I will respect your decision. What about the gang of useless Victorians? Are they going with you? We will head to the front lines at Silver Rock Bluff, rather. Wait, are you saying you want to just lead a couple of thousand men, some of whom are civilians, who've barely held a weapon, straight into battle with the Naxxrarit army? You have your legend, Sarkaz, and we have ours. We have the Sigh of Kings, the blade that can cleave catastrophe in twain. Since the Sarkaz have controlled the storm, and it's time that this sword plays a part. I'll look for a while, keep having fun. Okay, hope we have a good time, Coral. You have been contacted by Duke of Caster. The invitation, to be precise, an invitation rather. It is, as we surmised, since the Sarkaz started the strange doings, the Victorians, or rather the Ducal Alliance, have been heavily hit. Caster, no, any Grand Duke ought to have figured out exactly the kinds of circumstances Victoria has found itself in. We've all seen those altars spewing that red light, or any light for that matter. As it stands, Londinium and all the battlefields surrounding it have become a giant art circle. This is how the Sarkaz fight. Not like Lifanian, not like Ursus, not like any other nation's tactics that we are familiar with. The Trilbury Ashers have told Caster that all the intelligence they've gathered so far is useless when it comes to Sarkaz tactics. The Size of Kings, No longer will this piece of steel I hold in my hand be merely a leverage to get Caster back to the negotiation table. It will turn the tide of war, bringing true change to the battlefield. No one knows when the next catastrophe will strike. I don't know what form Caster's Stone of the Swords will take, but no matter if it's a square room or on wheels or an odd contraption or on an officer's back, I'll find it. If we can quit these storms, then I dare say that the battle will become somewhat more evenly matched. From Sufria Chasm to the front line at Silver Rock Bluffs, it will take you 2 days even if you follow the roads that the Dukes have cleared from the westbound forest to Gibsonham. The Duke of Caster would be more than happy to snatch away the Sire Kings if afforded the opportunity. It will allow her to lead the Dukes in this difficult war and move her one step closer to the throne. And she will not be the only one attempting to do so. I am aware. The Duke of Windermere has died in combat, and her troops have retreated from battle. If any other duke withdraws their forces, the scales of war will be tipped ever more against us. The war will drag on, Londinium's restoration will be delayed, and more blood will be shed. Sarkaz and Victorian alike, this is the battle that will determine our ultimate fate. And as for us, we are the Exemplars. Wherever a miracle is needed the most is where we will be. Besides, if the sword really can calm storms, as the legends say, I dare say it would help speed along your journey to Londinium after all this. Closure? As you know, I've been done with my preparations. To keep things short, your ever reliable Chief Engineer Closure and her team have come up with 7 different plans to get around the comms interference. This equipment of mine has also started analysing that super catastrophe's trends and impacts. Originium-triggered reactions always leave a trail, no matter how intense they are. Things like dust concentration, activity index, and then there's the spread conditions. Well, I'm sorry to say that all these metrics are pretty high, as expected, so we can't tell what's going to happen in the most dangerous regions. We can deduce which parts of the battlefield are safer relatively. That is, of course, if we can go deeper into the heart of this battle to obtain more data. Misery's agreed to be our bodyguard, but since you guys are already heading over to where there's most action going on, I figured we might as well tag along. So, could we trouble the Exemplars to look after us? Gladly. We are duty bound. Making sure that things don't get any worse is Rhode Island's mission, right, Calcit? Witch zones are just deadly and not guaranteed deadly, yeah. Thank you, Closure. Doctor. Let's both go with Amia. Our path might be the most dangerous one of all. But I'll keep you safe, Doctor. Just like always. I know you fear for the safety of each and every operator, which makes you hesitant to choose. But the truth is that I need you to come with me. So we can go behind the enemy lines together. There is no changing what we will face during our final confrontation. Originium has shaped the history of the Sarkaz, just as it will shape the futures of us all. Perhaps you still have misgivings about why Rhode Island must intervene in this war. I did not have the opportunity to explain in the past, and nor could I give you a precise answer. I have never doubted that the dark clouds above the Shard concealed some dreadful unknown. Yet when it has revealed itself, as it has now, I still find myself confronted by mixed emotions. I'm not one to explore the subject of fate, especially not yours or mine. But now, fate has reared its head. And it's coming our way. You don't sound your usual self. Originium's effects are far beyond any of our comprehension. Ah, even yours? Of course. Doctor, I hope... No, I believe. I believe that you are still the one who can change everything. I've never had any doubts either. Doctor, I think we should get going now. Alright, let's go. Not gonna ask me for a 21 gun salute? Take care, W. Look, little bunny. I'm not like the sheep over there. I'm real hard to kill. The exemplars are ready. Glad to hear it, Siege. Remember, everyone, time is of the essence. Every minute, every second on this battlefield, there will be people who are suffering because of Originium. Our mission is clearer than ever. Stop the spreading of Originium. Stop om nom 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 nom. Right. And then we plunge into the darkest depths of the fog. To Londinium. We'll bomb that tower and grab Terra's biggest bastard out of the rubble. We'll stop the disaster before us, and any more yet to come. Holy shit! I've done 2 stages, one of them wasn't even playable, and it's 2.5 fucking hours! Oh my god, are there going to be 21 stages of this? Like the other chapter? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm loving it so far, it's just, oh my god! Oh, now we have a tutorial. I've got to go now, good luck. Okay, have a nice time, Les. The chapter is nearly as long as The Hobbit. And 4 to 5 mandatory health? Wait, I'm sorry, what do you mean mandatory health stages? I haven't done a single hell stage. Like, ever. I've ignored them. Primarily because I just haven't had a reason to do them yet. I mean, there are plenty of reasons to do them, I just can't be bothered. But I haven't done a hell stage yet. Unless you just mean the red ones. The normal red ones. In which case, that's still a yikes. Damn, look at all these choices I have. Please tell me you didn't actually mean the hell stages. Like those big ones that appear on the side that you just normally ignore. Or that I normally ignore. Oh, hello, there's a thingy-majig. Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. There's a lot of active Originium here. Oh, you were the one who decided to stand on it. That's because you're in an area contaminated by Originium pollution. Did you learn nothing from working here? These are common on the battlefields in the outskirts of Londinium. Operators deployed in them will take continuous damage and have reduced SP recovery. Try to avoid them when deploying. Oh, there's the tornado. What's that storm in the distance? It looks like it's heading towards us. That's an active Originium storm conjured by enemy art. It has the same effect as the Originium pollution, but even stronger. Active Originium storm? Why is it heading our way? It seems to be drawn to the withered altar. The storm expanded? Correct. It grows stronger when it absorbs active Originium in its path. I did not notice that last time. We're in real danger here, Instructor. How do we deal with this? Calm down, Jessica. We can deploy a new withered altar in another direction to draw it away from us. Once placed, we'll have to deploy an operator to activate it too. Leave this to me, Instructor Doberman. High-risk jobs are my specialty.
根据消防守则，你这是违禁行为。
Doesn't matter to me. So many weaknesses.
You know, that is clever, and I didn't even think of doing that, because obviously the moment that gets there, it'll damage anyone else. So I'm going to have to rely on
根据消防
pushes.
守则，你这是违禁行为。
Or I suppose I could just redeploy. I don't really need to keep like someone like Shaw there. Unless they attack the altars.
Mission accomplished.
I didn't actually check for that. However, that completely threw out my idea that it just stops when it lands on a person. Oh, okay, I'm gonna do one more stage. I can't believe how far this game has gone now, to the point where stage 3 is gonna be it for me. Okay, that's not too bad. Well, at this point, I no longer feel bad about having all of that. Masochistium. 13 hours into the operation. The further we go, the more dire the situation becomes. Freshly rent canyons, diverted rivers, pathways that withstood the weight of great nomadic cities now torn, distorted, warped beyond recognition. The maps of the past are now no more than scrap paper. Every trail we must be charted anew. There is no doubt that the blood of Tikaz lies this way, though. Our bond yet hums. The closer we get to the heart of the battlefield, the higher the rate that Originium integrates with all information. The soil, the waters, the peoples. Originium's influence has its clutch around virtually everything on Terra, yet perhaps we have long forgotten the fundamental principles of how it works. What do you mean by information just now, Calcit? Oh. Perhaps you shall find out rather soon, Doctor. Oh, come on. I mean, we already know. Just out of character. Or maybe... No, never mind. Objectively speaking, this Originium contaminated terrain, does give a tactical advantage to Teresa's military operations. In combat, the Victorian front is all but shattered. But this level of Originium activity still pales in comparison to the catastrophe strikes earlier. Teresa's will never use Originium so recklessly just to gain a slight tactical advantage. This much I know of him. He knows the consequences. Sounds like we're in for a difficult journey. There's a vehicle headed this way. Halt! The truck shudders to a stop as several familiar faces hop out. Oh. Master Banshee and the King of Sarkaz. I told you we shouldn't have taken this road. We can't run away now. Well, it's not like they're bad guys. Weren't you supposed to stay at the Lifebone? Ah, well, I'll be honest here. Master Banshee, Your Highness, we were scared. Terrified. Having to stay inside that skeleton, not knowing who or what might come running over the hills to attack us. So we ran. God, 24 hours though. I know that desertion is a crime, but we were never going to be of any use, were we? I beseech you, my lord, your highness, please don't execute us. We'll happily take the whip instead, however many lashings you wish. I'm not going to execute you, and I never demanded that you fight for me. If you want to go, then you may go. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, your highness. You are wise and merciful, and can we free go along with you? Say no more. Your highness has already done us an incredible kindness by sparing our lives, and you would still demand more of her? Don't be a fool, shopkeep. How much of a chance do you think we, the three of us, and that broken truck got? We'd probably get blown up by a bomb or worse. Considering they'll be attacked by both sides as well. Your highness, this is just my humble request, but please, get us off this battlefield. I'll give you everything I have. As long as these two live, I'll swear my undying fealty to you. No, that's not the issue here. If you were to follow us, I'm sorry to say that it would be just as dangerous. What do you think we should do, Doctor? Ah, shit. I can't imagine they'll survive the battlefield on their own. They might expose our whereabouts to the military commission. Their ride's not bad. We could commandeer it. I'm going to go with this one. I don't really want to leave them. I don't know if it actually affects anything, but I just don't want to leave them. Very well then. Driver. We can travel together for a while. After we pass through the war zone, you should leave Victoria once and for all. Thank you. My deepest gratitude, and please use our transport. It should carry us far enough. Oh, King of Sarkaz, you're the most monogamous soul, and I truly do not know how I could repay this kindness of yours. The coin. Huh? The coin I gave you. Ah, I completely forgot about that. Good thing I didn't drop it. Here, for you, my lord. I was wrong to beg it of you. It was my honour to serve, Banshee Lord. How could I ever expect to pay payment for such a privilege? I think they're scared of you. You really wanted your coin back? I hope you don't think me a miser. I need to ensure that they are not imposters. Yes, I forgot the Demacia is still around. You need not fear. I hold no malice against you. Logos moves his fingers and the coin in his palm vanishes, only to reappear in the shopkeeper's hand. In the shopkeep's hand, rather. In a heartbeat. Shopkeep stares, first at the hand capable of quaking the earth and shaking mountains with a single pen stroke, then at the coin in his own hand, and finally back to the deadpan Banshee, unsure how to react. Was that a magic trick? How delightful. You are a man of many talents, sire. I better go help driver start the car. Most interesting performance. I saw Scout and Outcast demonstrate it several times, but I could never quite get the movement right. It is my lack of skill that made for a lackluster effect. I've never seen that side of you. Doctor, there are times when I also regret the fact that many of our shared memories have disappeared into the ether. We never did talk about the past much. I suppose the right time never came up. If we ever find ourselves time to reminisce after this ordeal, perhaps you will be pleasantly surprised by the anecdotes of your past. Boy, I wish I got to know them. Calcit swooped in and was like, no talking about his past. And just ended the game. God damn it. Please, this game is long enough as it is. Yeah, I know, it's... Oh god, that's an old nickname that I had since I was 12, and I'm really embarrassed that it still exists. I need to change it.
Arknights.
It could be worse, though. My Arknights name now is Yo-Yo whole bunch of numbers. That's why I went with Speedy, yeah. Oh god, it's stuck at 60%. It's gonna crash again. Nope, okay.
Doctor, 僕が恋しかった?
There we go. Oh no! Ooh, I gotta be careful because of the story. Hello, cat. Okay, I need to... Oh, fuck, I forgot it does that. Hope you're doing well, cat. Just gotta get back to... Alright, here we go. But for now we must go. There we go. There's no sound here. You're right, there is no sound. I think Kukika's made a video about people losing their Arknights account but didn't want to watch it. A terrifying thought. I did hear something like that was a thing. Fortunately with me, it just forced me to make an account. I was really worried that it made me make a new account. Amia muted her audio by accident, yeah. The stillness is strange. I can't hear the sounds of our breathing or the vehicle's engine. Can't even hear my own heartbeat. Is this some kind of Originium art? Could someone have blocked all sounds in the vicinity to conceal themselves? How does Amia wear headphones? Okay, so the people in Arknights have both human ears and animal ears. So when you see the art, they tend to have headsets on their human ears, and then they leave their animal ears for hearing the surroundings. No, Amia, listen carefully. It's not that sound has forsaken this place. Instead, there is a great, tremendous roar. So great that it drowns out its lessers. 4 ears, yes. Or at least the ones that have ears, because obviously some people like them have horns instead. I don't know if I did make an account. I just had to choose username after the patch. I think you were in the green if you bound your account before. Yeah, I did bound it before, and then it made me do something, and I think I just clicked it, and it was like, okay, you are now yo-yo one blah 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 numbers, and I'm like, huh? How many ears do you have? I have the 2 cat ears. So I didn't do the 4 ears, I just did the standard 2. It is a deafening cry of death itself. Look over there. No, you will not. You will not nom them. That leaf. The leaf hangs from the lowest branch. A leaf hangs from the lowest branch. Its surface tinted with vibrant yet bizarre colours, like the work of a haphazard artist or sunlight reflecting off a puddle of grease. Go grease lightning, go grease lightning. Like the vestiges of some sort of art. It is rotting. Decay unhinges its maw, gnawing at all in its sight, leaving behind only iridescent bite marks. Oh, Cat was here then. Within a few seconds, the sprightly yet strange coloration spreads across the entire plant, and even moving onto other bushes. Oh, so it's a colour from outer space. The once succulent leaves become drips of foaming liquid, leaving behind only bare vein networks quivering in the wind. Just like a thin beast skeleton after its flesh has been picked clean, unceremoniously discarded. The wind rises, as if wanting to tear at their skin. It is the sigh of an unsatiated beast. Logos, the marsh! Silver incantations flow forth, plunging into the depths of the marsh. Nuking it, apparently. Did you manage to stop it? No. The muffled sound of water sloshing ripples from the marsh, echoing around the deathly silence. The sound of a foot pulling from the ooze, then stepping down again. Steadily unseen steps churning the muddy water, slopping it to the shore. Okay, so there are zombies under the water. Well, a marsh isn't even water, it's basically just really wet ground. No, Cat, bad. This is YouTube. Prepare for battle. Stay where I can see you, Doctor. Black arcs shoot into the marsh, but the burst of sound quickly dies down, as though swallowed up. The steps begin again, their rhythm unchanging, their resolve unyielding. A tattered hem floats above the surface of the water as ripples crash into ripples, becoming a chaotic jumble of lines and shapes. Are they remnants who seek revenge on any living people who enter the tomb? you never got over that, did you? Actually, I'd say it's a little bit more like the horde of undead from the siege that you had to deal with. Because they just kept coming. Yeah, a tattered hem floats above the surface of the water as ripples crash into ripples, becoming a chaotic jumble of lines and shapes. Oops. Monster. A dazzling beam of light spews forth from Monster's mouth, but the shining lance is lost amidst the dark swamp. The slow sloshing changes. Huh. A series of hurried footsteps erupt in the silence, and all lost sounds return once more. A brilliant cacophony of ear-splitting din. Like it's din. It's the sword from that that game, the game made by the people who did Bastion. Those of you who have played know exactly the sword I mean. Death has come for you all. Stay back, you, whatever you are. Look out. Cage. A pseudoram. A burial shroud still wrapped around a corpse. His body has already rotted away. Conventional attacks will have no real effect. Oh, fuck. Is this someone who can only be like damaged by art damage or something? Transistor, yes, that's sword, because it has that same sort of like mix of colors. And it's also like vaguely square shaped instead of being sword shaped. This is a form of witchcraft innate to the Naxxrair, or possibly an ancient tradition. Naxxrairs devour life to nourish their bodies, but all bodies have an end. Once at the cusp of that end, powerful Naxxrair will nourish weaker ones with their flesh, gaining unfathomable speed and strength in return, alongside witchcraft energy that no ordinary body can bear. In doing so, they become even more powerful creatures, while their nourishment allows the Naxxrair society to sustain and grow, just as fallen leaves nourish the land, and the land supports new lives, the eternal cycle. Oh, there is already way too many ideas that I've had playing literally this one chapter so far. And you will suffer, Cat. You and the rest of your party. Blood. The muddy waters of the swamp rise swiftly like a curtain, immersing the Naxxrair up to his torso. At the same time, incantations wend and weave their way around the group, holding back the rot's incessant bite. Over there, quick! We head into the forest. Don't step on the mud. The floor is necrotic damage. That's another idea I'm keeping. With the swarm rising, or perhaps the mist sinking, the dark ground becomes a gaping mouth, trying to engulf all. The group struggles through the mire, each breath growing more laboured. A singular thought seizes the collective mind. Living is a tedious and fertile effort compared to the peaceful eternal slumber that awaits if they simply turned around and embraced death. Monster, protect the doctor. It's here. The only sound they can hear is the whistling of the corroded blade as it swings down. The Naxxrair, the one who walks alongside death, has arrived before them. Damn. Did Monster also feel the pain? All life withers before his art. If we are caught in the Naxxrair's witchcraft, our life force will be sapped to become its nourishment. It's fast. Did he come from the mud or drop from the tree? Either is possible. From life to death, from blossom to wither, they draw upon the entire life cycle, turning it into seeds that produce new Naxxrairs. I can feel it, the unending flow of witchcraft energy flooding towards us. And not just from the enemy before us, from the marsh, amidst the trees, it's everywhere. We have been wrapped up in the Naxxrair's shroud. By his hands, death hangs above our very heads. Only by tearing apart this barrier of witchcraft can we defeat him. Miner, am I about to die? It's tired, Shopkeep. Here, hold on to me and so we don't get separated. Driver, hold my hand. Whatever you do, don't fall. It's fading out of consciousness. I can't hold her up much longer. Ordinary healing techniques won't help. Naxxrair witchcraft is devouring us all. Leave me. I'll only hold you back. You can let go of us. I know that if it wasn't for us, you and Sir Banshee could fight more easily. No. I promised that I would get you out of the battlefield. We're in this together. Is that so? Good. A scent of blood It pervades the air. It's Driver and the other's wounds. No, this blood is witchcraft. Huh? As in a vampire? This forest has Naxxramas and vampires. Oh, fuck off! I dealt with that bullshit 3 chapters. Yes, it would be. It would be very dangerous, Cat. I'm glad you mentioned that. A thin fog of blood floats all around them. This is entirely different from the Prince of Blood's arts they witnessed before. It is subtle, like delicate strands of silk nearly smothered by the all-encompassing mist of decay around them. But if you bite my ears harder, then I'm just going to implement it even more. But it is these silken strands that slightly stir the stagnant air. I don't know why I started talking as if it was a Shakespeare play. Amiya, feel the flow of the wind. Eh? How did you steal that? I will expose the weave of this shroud and locate its weakest point. Got it. Black arts gather before Amiya's body, condensing into a spear. Logos raises his hand, pointing at the depths of the thick fog. Pierce. Herald of Death. You resist the spread of the rot. But to no avail. In the end, death will claim your corpse. I have never once doubted that. Disperse. His giant blade falls, sticking into the soil like a gravestone. The Naxxramas shroud flutters and billows. Okay, when we destroy one of these things in the game, I hope that the sword falls and makes a grave, at least for a little bit. In an instant, his imposing figure disintegrates, leaving behind only several tattered strips of cloth gently falling to the ground. Is he dead? I can finally breathe. Clap, clap. It's the sound of bone scraping against bone. Oh, here he comes. The withered hand stretches out of the mud. Watch out! It fell apart. Looks like it to me. Phew. When did you become such a badass, Driver? Shouldn't we keep going, Your Highness? Yes, it's best we leave at once, before the Naxxramas reawakens and catches up to us again. That's the reason Cat's selling my hoodies. I wasn't expecting a vampiric art circle here. It's still working. There's vampiric arts that suddenly appeared as we were fighting the Sidoram. Was it because of this circle? I'm afraid it's not that simple. I'm sure you're well aware, Amiya, that those arts were cast by a vampire. Perhaps a descendant of a vampire? Okay, is the crazy Naxxramas woman a vampire that joined the Naxxramas ranks? I assume that while the Sanguine Arch has been taken off the battlefield, the gifts he bestowed will not so easily fade away. How many pockets do you have? None, actually. I'll do my... Ooh, it doesn't matter. I'll do my best to put these corrupted lives to rest, as I've done before. I was thinking Forest. I heard Forest doing stuff. An 800-year-old sentient forest that ranks 7th out of the 27 dead apostle ancestors. Huh. Lucas, can you please assist me? Amia. Boop, nope. Boop. And boop, there we go. The sound becomes clearer. Oh, that's the wrong thing. There we go. The sound becomes clearer, coming from behind the bloodstained boulders. It is the sound of limbs dragging across the ground. A sound that they've heard countless times in previous battles. Amia notices the expression on Locus's face. He looks at the stone columns, but Amia looks not at the stone columns, but at Amia, a trace of emotion flitting across his eyes. It is sorrow. Amia recognizes it instantly. She has felt sorrow countless times since the war began, sometimes from an enemy, but mostly from her companions. Oh, the pockets on my shorts. Driver. Oh. That's unfortunate. Your Highness. When did it happen? Was it while we were fighting in Anaxaré? Yes. When we left the skeleton, I brought along a rock that the military commission had ordered us to transport. Oh no, I would never have a handbag. I don't like them. I thought since it made us stronger before, it might come in handy in battle. It really did help, right? I never dared to imagine that I could fight alongside you and defeat that strange enemy. Oh, so she conjured the vampire stuff and helped destroy it. You used a blood crystal left behind by a vampire. Did you pierce your body with it? No, that wouldn't have induced such a drastic change. You swallowed some fragments. Did we learn nothing from the one person who last time swallowed a crystal? Okay, to be fair, he was forced to, but still. You willingly accepted Ducariel's blood and art. I've always had the vampire bloodline, even though it's pretty faint by now, but I could still sense the Sanguine Archer's call, even if it felt nothing more like a nothing more like a whisper. I've seen those worms crawl out of Sarkaz's corpses before, so there's no need to pity me for not knowing the consequences. Instead of dying in the gutter like a real worm without so much as a yelp, I'd rather accept this power and die on the battlefield like a real Sarkaz. This isn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. A few months ago, while driving aimlessly through the wilderness, I heard a broadcast about what was happening in Londinium. If I eat the shiny rocks, will I gain powers? Maybe death. And somehow, I just drove all the way out here. Topkeep says I read too many stories about knights. That's rubbish. Everyone knows that Kazdil doesn't need knights. I just wanted to know if there was a real path in life that I could follow. One with a proper end. If I could give some meaning to my life without just wasting it. And then I met you. The path of the King of Sarkaz is the path for me. We fought alongside each other on this path. Like you said, we're in this together. And now, the fighting stopped. At least for now. My bodies are still alive. Your Highness, you can deal with me as you see fit. Just deal with you? What are you talking about? Driver, why have you become like... real scary, aren't I? Your Highness, please, I beg of you, help her. And Lord Banshee, sire, I humbly return this coin to you. It is the only thing of worth I have. Witchcraft is the trigger to her condition, not the cause. There is nothing I, Amia, and even Dr. Calcit could do to reverse the changes. Then, what are you going to do? Don't tell me you're going to kill her like you killed those red worms. Stand aside, shopkeep. This was my decision. Your Highness, I heard that in the past, the greatest warriors of the Sarkaz, right before they died, could request that the King of Sarkaz grant them a vision. I don't know if I count or not. Amia raises her hand. Black arts coalesce at her fingertips. A desperate smile emerges from Driver's face as she unconsciously looks at the top of the Cortis's head, searching for the legendary black crown. My king. What will I see? I just hope it won't be me driving that piece of junk around Casdell. Driver, can you tell me your name? Your real one? Is it part of the ceremony too? Well, if I knew your name, it would be a lot easier. Marilla. A common name. Yeah. In Kazmierzian. Okay. In Polish, basically. I wonder if that is a Polish name then. Or if it's just in general. Marilla. Sorry, I never stayed in Kazmierz for long, so my pronunciation might be off. Same here. So I'm guessing it probably is a Polish name. No, it's good. It's been so long since anyone called my name so gently, ever since my mother died. That language's name could solo an entire game of Scrabble. Yeah. Marilla, I refuse your request. You won't grant me a vision? I suppose I was never a warrior to begin with. No, that's not it. I refuse to let you die here, by my hand, Marilla. You have not become the vampire's creation. Your looks have changed, but I don't sense you becoming any more evil or bloodthirsty. And even if you are showing a bit more of your ancient bloodline, you're still you. You do not deserve punishment, nor should I be the one to give you your honor. But you are the King of Sarkaz. Please, call me Amia. Miss Marlia, I've had my share of worries because your team isn't comprised of Rhode Island operators. I was thinking earlier how we could get along with you three, but in truth, it wasn't a problem at all. If you wish to fight alongside us for our common goal, then I welcome you with open arms. The young Cortis keeps her arms outstretched, her blue eyes blinking. The Sarkaz woman grasps her slender fingers. Despite not feeling much sorrow, 2 rows of scarlet tears flow down her cheeks. Were you watching, Amia? What kind of animal is Amia meant to be? Some kind of fox rodent? No, God no, those ears are way too long to be a fox. She's a Cortis, so a rabbit or a hare, that kind of thing. Or a donkey if you believe half of the the community. It's changed a lot in at these past few years. She's become more mature. The core of the vampire's ritual has changed. It is no longer just a tool to amplify the strength of the Sarkaz, nor a simple collector of energy. It is deepening the Sarkaz's bloodline's bond with Londinium, with Om Nom Nom Nom. The blood of Tikaz is playing a role in it somehow. Well, probably because it's the original blood, or like the purest form to when Om Nom 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 was a thing. So I'm assuming it sort of binds it together, like it's the missing link between Om Nom 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 and the current Sarkaz. Ugh. Ugh. Lukewarm wine. Ugh. The strength of the Sarkaz bloodlines acts as a direct catalyst to the Originium spread. In turn, the information with Originium empowers the bloodlines, changing their powers and other traits. The effect of these arts seem familiar. Didn't Salus merge a lot of bloodlines? Confessari are skilled at bringing out the power of bloodlines. Oh. We must be ready. The threat that Om Nom 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 represents may well be far greater than any we expected. I was really confused for a moment, but that's because we crashed, so I had to play the story first. Also, how does that then lead into the story? How does that then lead into the stage? Like, normally the game's relatively good at having, like, something happen, and then that something leads into the... The entire reason why I did that was because it normally doesn't allow for that. Okay. Weird.
War. Ever inevitable.
That is most unfortunate.
Now's the time to help everyone out.
Forwards! Your orders.
I'm so tired of the distance. There!
At your service.
I'll take the lead. The rest is up to you guys.
Anybody hurt?
Draw swords.
Dum 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 dum.
Got it.
Yeah, you can always tell it's Lapland because it has that sort of like parts every now and then. I'm a bit overkill with that, but I don't care anymore. Also, they don't seem to attack the altars. I don't know if that's just because we haven't had any enemies that do that yet, but still.
I'm so tired.
Oh, it's finally my turn.
Doctor, leave the big guys who's mitten.
こちらチェン、いつでも指示をくれ。そいつらを逃がすな。
Strength in numbers, huh? Is that what you were banking on? Doctor, this is a spear. Is only good for stabbing people.
You'll have to try harder than that.
This is a spear. Is only good for stabbing people.
Awaiting order. Cut them to pieces.
I feel like this is lulling me into a false sense of security. I know it's a relatively low level, but still.
This is a spear. Is only good for stabbing people.
You'll have to try harder than that. Ha! Kick ass!
Strength in numbers, huh? Is that what you were banking on?
Awaiting order. Shut up.
Okay.
Doctor! Hey, hey! Relying on your armor will only leave you vulnerable. Hey, hey! Relying on your armor will only leave you vulnerable.
そいつらを逃がすな。
Alright, there we go. And now time for the massive amounts of story? Question mark? There we go. 23 hours into operation. The route ahead has been cleared. I'll continue scouting the Sarkaz army's movements. Haven't found any trace of them yet. Thank you, Misery. Continue to set up those sentry posts. Morgan, found any surviving Victorian soldiers where you're at? I'm afraid not. Nothing but Originium crystals here. We haven't run into any Victorian troops, corpses or wrecks since we entered the westbound forest. Damn it. We can tell there's been a bloody huge battle. So where have all the people gone? The terrain here keeps changing. Maybe the ground ate them all up. We cannot underestimate the tenacity of the people. It is only because there are those who refuse to give up that the exemplars can exist. That's why we're here in the first place. Shira, keep the medics ready to receive any army remnants and civilians. We've got extra supplies, so no need to worry on that front. The bad news is that with so many infected among our troops now, it's almost impossible to distinguish between infected and uninfected soldiers. I'd like your professional opinion on that matter. Would registering the infected help our men or not? But you should ask, registering the infected, that might have been the first thing they taught me at the military academy. But where we stand now, I'd say there's no real sense to it. I see. Then let's stop registering them. Just try your best to provide everyone, infected or not, with Rhode Island's recommended protective measures. The rest is not up to us anymore, at least not for now. Let's all focus on surviving this war first, then we can worry about the wars to come. Oh, drone. Oh, my drone's back. What's that drone? Boys trapped in a well? Sorry. How awful. The entire propulsion system has been clotted by that crystal dust. Based on monitored data, environmental originium concentration is still fluctuating wildly. Send me that data you've just got, Rock. We've got a new iteration of our originium activation trend model, and I want to see if our calculations fit real-world data. Ugh, looks like there's not enough data to do that. The trend of this curve. Let's wait for Victor's team to finish off that diffractometer analysis report. Then we should be able to calculate the safe areas in real time. This place freaks me out. It's like 1 minute it's deadly quiet, and the next there's some terrifying originium mountain pushing its way up out of the dirt. The safe areas keep changing. Although we've managed to re-establish short-range comms after working our asses off, if you go even a step out of range, all that interference just gets in the way again. Good thing I planned ahead and asked Radian for her arts unit before we left for Londinium. After a little copy and paste, I made a knockoff version. It's not as good as the real deal, but it should help. Once we've got those portable communication towers up, we'll be able to transmit the locations of the safe areas to anyone on the battlefield who needs them. This information will save many lives. Well, yeah, that's what Rhode Island does. Horn, status update. We've successfully arrived at Gibsonham. It's the last supply point before we reach the front at Silver Rock Bluffs. The reconnaissance team's already made their initial scouting reports. Looks like the traces of the ducal armies here must have passed through on the way to the front a few days ago. I think we can confirm at this point that the route Trilbury Asher provided is safe. Is there anyone in town? The streets are empty, but I can sense the flickering of shadows and the smell of food. We decided against contact to avoid unneeded misunderstandings. Understood. We'll rendezvous with you as soon as we can. It's getting dark. Seems like everything's going smoothly. Best we let our fighters get some rest and some hot soup in them. Remember to save some for my team. They'll be taking a while longer to get back after their work is done. Rock and I still have to head over to Feist. I'm not sure if we're able to double our communication range by nightfall, but we'll do our best to finish ASAP. No need to worry, we'll save the best for your people. It's all just the same canned provisions though, right? Would you like some engine oil for dressing then? Oi! All units, continue until you reach Gibsonham. I hope things can be as peaceful tonight as things are now. Don't say that! Well, that's going to be a stage 4's fight then. All these houses seem to be empty. Have the residents gone into hiding? Gibsonham's not far from the Duke's defence line, so I doubt the Sark has ever fully captured it. Not to mention that the ducal armies just passed through a few days ago. Horn's caution is warranted though. There might be some scattered ducal troops who want to reconvene with the main army and decided to camp out here first. Although Trilbury Asher's helping us out with his advice, Victoria's never exactly been model for unity. Not to mention the complicated nature of these Templars. I dare say that there are a few old-fashioned military nobles who would rather not tolerate our very existence. I see. Then let's show them a full scale of our forces. It'll deter those with ulterior motives and alert anyone who needs our help of our arrival. The rumbling of travelling tanks reverberates through the quiet night. A low roar of the engines forceful yet steady. The soldiers cautiously advance, observing their surroundings, but still, all they see are pitch-black windows and doorways. It doesn't look like they want to make the first contact. That's fine, as long as it means we can get along. Wait, I hear something. From the building at the front and left. That's the sound of artillery shell casings falling on the ground. An ambush? On your guard, everyone. I'll lead the team to scout ahead. First squadron. Where did I get squadron from? First squad, second squad, follow my lead. Come on, ladies, we just did the stage. We don't need to do any more fighting. There are no signs of life in the abandoned factory. Contrary to expectation, there is no sound of an explosion following the fallen casing. Okay, let's be real here. If you thought the falling casing was because it had been fired, you'd have heard the explosion and then the casing falling. I mean, the explosion of the barrel, obviously, not the explosion of it landing. That would be elsewhere. Are you sure that was falling casing's horn? Absolutely sure. There's a special model only allocated to elite Victorian troops. No traces of anyone living here. Don't move, Siege. Siege carefully puts her foot down back to where it was. Horn points out a thin tripwire barely visible against the ground. Nicely concealed, with the surrounding piping obstructing the view. Real tricky to spot. Booby trap? No. It's not linked to any explosives, just simple alarm system based on how they've installed it. I'd say they're military. Should we try to initiate contact? Yes. Everyone get behind us and prepare to engage. Hello, we don't mean any harm. Our unit's called the secret passage. Get ready to enter. Stay behind my shield. Halt! We're not... Okay. Help! Oh, hello. I knocked over some spent ammunition while on watch. How could they have heard from so far away? They avoided your alarm too. These troops, I don't know. I don't think they're any ordinary... Huh? She can block your pile driver spear? Captain, and Siege too. It really is you, Fiona. Oh, I was hoping it was going to be a cutscene. The lady with long red hair suddenly throws herself into the arms of her captain. So you were alive all along. Wonderful. How wonderful. Horn gently releases Bagpipe from her embrace, then claps her hand on her shoulder. No, get your head out of the gutter. I was thinking it was going to be like, I was hoping there was going to be like, you know, a cutscene painting of them hugging. Good to see you in one piece, and in rather good shape too. I'll make my report now, Captain. I've done it. I managed to extract the intelligence on the Spectre Force, and they've actually started writing it. They've actually started writing it in like a Scottish accent as well, which is something they never used to do. And I can what they know. Oh god! And I can what they're planning now. Enjoying the story so far? Yeah, so that's actually really good. Survived. I got my memories. I got the truth, and I stayed alive. Yeah, orders. I never forgot a word of them. Also, my accent's going to go everywhere, so I do apologise to literally anyone remotely related to Scotland. Except for the Americans who talk about being 1%, I don't care about them. Good to hear. I knew you could do it. I always knew. Welcome back, Bagpipe. Wait, you're not... Everyone, we mean you no harm. It's alright to come out. Ah, civilians mostly then. One by one, silhouettes emerge from the shadows. The elderly, children, the sick, and the wounded. Civilians. Hundreds of pairs of eyes stare at Siege and her men in fear and curiosity, taking their measure. You're not with the ducal armies? Most of you aren't dressed like Victorian soldiers. In fact, you mostly look like workers to me. That's right, we're not under any of the dukes. We're called the Exemplars. Yeah, the war room from chapter 9. Bashira's counting up the civilians who are hiding in the factory and giving them a checkup. All he can say at the moment is that they're looking better than we expected. Did you know the granny of the cousin of nephew of my the 5% Scottish? God, that just reminds me of Spaceballs. No fighting in the war room. I understand that reference. Aside from those infected soldiers under the Duke of Fife who came along with you, and a small team of military engineers under the Duke of Normandy, everyone else is just local civilians who couldn't escape. The Ducal Alliance armies came through here a few days ago, but they rather give up a chance of being rescued than seek help from the Grand Duke's mood. It's understandable why the soldiers would avoid them. They're either worried about the status of their infection or worried about a court-martial. But as for the civilians, perhaps this was the year the people living around Londinium got to reassess their country and those decorated higher-ups. Bagpipe, how did you manage to get their trust? Are you listening, Bagpipe? Huh? Oh, aye, Captain. You need to pay attention during tactical meetings. The map's on the wall, not my face. Study, Captain. On lets out a small sigh. Why did you feel the need to write that as narration and then put in the... That's almost as bad as when you write something and you put sigh, he sighed. It's like, no! Or ha ha ha, he laughed. Like, I've seen people do that and it is, oh my god. I really shouldn't be asking. You are Fiona, after all. I'm just a wee bit glad. The Exemplars, the Tempest Platoon's predecessors. I guess the rumours were true. I'm actually amazed that you still remember what you learned in the military history class. Well, of course. When I was still at training camp, Triangle made sure I committed this memory to fact. This, oh my god, this memory to fact? I don't know why that tickled me so much. Also, I forgot to say, hello Nickroll. Hope you're doing well. I sort of read your message and then forgot to greet you. Out by the training fields, the sycamores were full of leaves blocking the sun just right. Then there were the rocks at the top of the cliff, hard as, well, rocks. Your hands will string if you tried to climb them. I remember when Cello and Oboe had a wager on who could complete the rock climbing training course the fastest. The loser had to do 100 100 push-ups. I'm sorry. So 1,000 push-ups. No, 100 by 100 is more than that. That's 10,000? 4 zeros. Yeah. Fucking hell. Unless 100 push-ups is like a name for something. Oboe was a right fool. Who would have taken that bet with Cello? Maybe you should have reminded him back then. You were even sitting on his back the whole time he was doing those push-ups. Oh god, with how heavy bagpipes race is as well. I was just helping him with his training. And I'd say it turned out alright in the end, He was a hair behind Jello the next time. The Exemplars. When the Tempest platoon was first established, nothing was left of this legendary unit from the War of the Four Nations. Not even its unassigned unit ID. But now it has returned once more to the battlefield. We're all members of the Exemplars now, Bagpipe. As long as our team is still here, we will never stop fighting the good fight. Isn't there a strategy meeting inside? Why are you standing out here in the cold? I just wanted to clear my head for a few minutes. Did you think I was someone else? Bed or... No, not really. Or maybe that one woman who happens to be alive? I believe you. If someone suddenly popped out of the fog tonight, I wouldn't have any expectations either. Not everyone is as lucky as Horn, reuniting with the person they most want to see. Luck, eh? That's a luxury around here. And that's enough blues tonight. I don't hear any music. We should head inside. Wait. Victorian soldiers? Are they the remnants who stayed behind? No, they can't be. I never noticed them until they got this close. They're the elite of the elites. Caster's men? Ah. Positively frigid out here. My hands are frozen stiff. The days truly are getting colder as they go by. Why, I've only taken a little jaunt, and my full plaid's already half soaked through. That the guy? Yes! The moment he said plaid, I was immediately thinking of that stuff. My young friends, won't you invite me inside to warm my hands for a spell? No, piss off. Since you come all this way in person, I suppose we should show you some courtesy. Delphine. Yes, Vina? Let's show the Duke the way. Do you know the way?
Let's grab a nice dinner
Nice.
and clean up the battlefield. My treat.
That was by far the shortest cutscene we've had so far. Also, I like that bass guitar and I want it. I also want the person using it, but that's a little less likely. Dum, 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 dum. Okay, I'm going to leave it here this time because it is nearly 4 hours. Courtesy, Delphine kill him fast, yeah. That's going to cause a lot of problems, I just know that now. Like, they literally were hiding from the Ducal forces, and suddenly we came in, told everyone it's fine, and then immediately bring a Duke in. That's not going to go well. And this game loves to have everyone go against each other for like the slightest misunderstanding, so I'm not hopeful. But yeah, so I'm going to leave it here today. I don't know when I'm going to next stream. I think I'm going to stream on Sunday, but I don't know what I will be streaming yet. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick to Arknights on Fridays because that is the best time that I can stream for a long period of time. I can't do Saturdays anymore because that's when I do D&D. So Friday is pretty much the time that I will mostly do it. I will do some other Arknight streams during the week as well. I'll just prioritize Friday being the absolute day that it's being done and have them on another day of the week if I feel like playing more of it sooner, or if I can't do it on a Friday for whatever reason. That's my general idea anyway. Just because it makes the most sense. Especially as these things do go on for a while. It's like nearly midnight. I can't stay up that late. People watching can't stay up that late, as most of the people watching the stream live are European. Even though most of the people who watch my VODs tend to be American. Which is fun. But yeah, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do on Sunday if I do stream. I'll see how it goes. Day it is probably. Maybe. I mean, I'll basically see. So it might be Arknights that I stream on Sunday if I do stream on Sunday, or it might be another game. I might do more I might do more Once Human instead, or I might play a different game. We'll see how it goes. 11:43. Yep, same here. 11:45. And happy Easter to everyone who celebrates it, or happy Chocolate Egg Day to those who don't. But yeah, so that's my general plan. I'm going to try and get a schedule for next week because I have been bad at that and I do need to stick to schedules. I want to stream at least 2 times a week, if not 3. So we'll see then. And have a nice weekend until next time. Yeah. And yeah, so those on YouTube, because I will stop here first because I need to read out on Twitch. So those on YouTube, thank you guys so much for coming around, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye. And those on